Yeah, all good.
All right, we are gonna go and unmute and I guess actually I gotta swap that.
Okay.
Swap that. All right, unmute in three, two, one. Hello, everyone. We are back here with Style Season 15. We're going to be having Stun Game University on the red side, and we are going to be having Anza Burgundy on the red side. Kind of apropos, red and Burgundy going together there. But I'm VerdantChaos. I'm joined by TDS. Say hi, TDS.
Another week, another match, another exciting opportunity to see champions that we haven't seen before, maybe.
Absolutely. And so far, they did the draft in pro draft, so we are unable to sadly get kind of be able to put that up for us. So we're gonna just be seeing all these picks come out in Champ Select. But
And starting, oh, sorry.
no, you go, you got it.
I was just going to say, starting off with the pick and ban, we can see a clear attention towards the jungle. Two junglers on the blue side and one on the red side. Plus, also focus towards the mid lane. One I'm surprised is Aurelion Sol. Not because it's not a bad ban. I think it's a champion that goes undervalued quite a bit. But it's a champion that also requires you to understand how to play around him. So I'm kind of surprised to see the champion banned away.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think a big thing you have to consider is I think if you want to play a bunch of just like melee champions, yeah, I think you have to take care of that Asol. Otherwise, Asol can kind of just wreck your team. And I am aware that the title is of yesterday's stream, but I don't have the privileges of changing that myself. So I'm just gonna keep it, and all of you fine folks will just know. So I am aware of this. I am unable to do anything for it at this moment, so I apologize.
It's okay. Everyone knows what match we're watching, I think. So
Yes.
hopefully we don't have any issues with that. But the good thing is that we're going to get to the match soon enough because we're already in the in-game client, so they certainly are going to be familiarized with the teams. That being said, there's champions that people probably didn't expect to see come through, like the Karthus in the jungle. It's a good jungler, but it's not a jungler we see typically. And then also the action in the mid lane. Champion that we also don't get to see often, and even when we see him, it's usually the top lane. So the fact that we're watching him now being played in the mid lane going to be quite interesting for the Anza Burgundy.
I think an important thing to kind of note here is Karthus has been getting a lot more notoriety. His full
Yeah,
clear, I think, is last I saw the fastest one was about 301, 302 for the full six clear. So Karthus is frighteningly fast on just being
yeah.
able to rinse through his camps at this time. Akshan always has found a decent place, a decent home in the mid lane. But as you have aforementioned, Akshan has been able to kind of bully out a lot of top laners. Me playing Gangplank a lot, I cry every single time I go up against Akshan because the double shot is absolutely miserable for my barrels. But that being set aside, we're just going to be having, I think, for the most part, a fairly standard comp for Stun Game University, having Malphite in the top lane, a very steady pick. Gragas was picked a little bit earlier as just a flex option. Yone has the unstoppable ultimate, so I think that's a very good pickup. And they picked up Jin Vel'Koz in the bot lane. You're going to be having Star Wars program, being able to just send the artillery in from downtown. You're going to be trying to go for a lot of poke. How do you think Jin Vel'Koz are going to be faring against Ashe Karma? I think Karma was a decent pickup to be able to kind of shield off and ward off some of the damage coming in from Jin Vel'Koz, but do you think it'll be enough?
Well, a lot of the bot lane is going to result in who can poke out better the enemy teams, right? You have double poke bot lane for both sides, technically, and the push is going to be quite crucial. So I'm really interested in seeing not only who gets first push, but also first push control. The push is going to play a huge factor in who can get the easiest time at poking, and also who can try and force away some of these champions from waves, from pushing, from being able to utilize their abilities. I think Jin Belkos may have a bit of a damage advantage just because of how you tend to go for these champions and how much impact they do have early on. But I can also see the Ashe Karma being able to fight back and maybe even set up for some potential kills with a huge amount of poke that comes through quite easily for them. It's going to be, I feel, a really competitive bot lane, and it's not going to be easy to determine who has dragon control, because that is something that typically the meta revolves around. Who gets the dragon control so that you can try and control it really early on. It's going to be quite interesting seeing who wants to get it and how they get it with these quite similar bot lanes in terms of pushing style.
I think another important thing to note is that Ash and Karma both have a lot of different like slows
Yeah.
slash CC in kit, a lot of utility that going with it. So if you go approach velocity on the Ash, you'll be able to chase Jin and Vel'Koz down the lane. So if they push it, they really have to crash under that tower, or they could be in a world of hurt. But also, you mentioned those dragons, Hawkeye, or Hawkshot. Is it Hawkshot or Hawkeye?
I think it's
Uh,
Hawkshot.
Okay, I'm like, it's one of the two. For Ash, is being able to give out that vision, being able to potentially track the Gragas onto where he is on the map, but then also just showing a potential if they're going for Dragon, if they're going for Rift Herald. So I think that's going to be a big thing to watch for, to just have that vision control, because that is very important at kind of this level of play in the platinum bracket. But
Certainly.
uh, last thing before we go to a quick commercial break, before we get into the game, who do you think has the better comp?
I I'm going to incline myself a bit over on the side of Stun Gaming, because I think that their comp revolves around quite heavily, quite good use so far, and I think they have really good tools to get towards the backline and be able to blow it out. Like Sion is a really great mid shield, but Malphite goes over it, Gragas cast goes over it, Yoni ult can go over it, Jhin can fire from a safe distance, and then Belka's ult can go over it as well. So you really don't need to worry about the Sion that much if you can reach the backline.
All right. Well, we shall see how this pans out. Go grab a drink, grab a friend. This is going to be probably a very short break, but we are going to be getting into the action. Don't go anywhere. Go. Hello, everyone. We are here with the game one. This is going to be Stun Game University on the blue side versus De Anza Burgundy on the red side. So, looking at both of these teams, I think we're going to be seeing our standard 5 point here. But any interesting summoners or keystones that we want to make mention of, or starting items?
Interestingly enough, not much that I'm caught out by surprise. I was trying to see if we maybe see a poke bot lane with the Ash, because Ash right now still can opt towards the Comet. She's taking the much more typical approach to be a normal AD carry, and the reason why I was thinking about that was because there's an action on the team. So you really don't need to be the straight up AD carry of the team, but can instead play around that fact really effectively. But apart from that, I think pretty straightforward everywhere else.
I think about the only one that I think you could have seen some variation from. So we have obviously Gust Walker on the Karthus there in the jungle. I think you could make a strong case for Scorch Claw just for the extra damage. But then Woles, ooh, going to be getting some poke off onto Wally. But it seems that Jin's going to be, Ash is going to be taking the losing end of that trade. Yeah, going to be
Yeah.
taking a fat chunk of health. But you could have also gone first strike, and I often see exhaust on Karthus jungle. So I'm going to be interested to see how this smite really ends up helping out Wolas.
The fun part about the first strike would have been the gold collection, but I think this is the one that you can just be the most and just completely away
Ooh.
from the lanes. That was a lot of damage over there. But just quickly to finish out the point with the Karthus, it's the one that you can be completely away from the lanes and you can just press R and get value out of that. The first strike, I think you still have to be close by to get maximum value out of each stack of the first strike. Karma is taking way too much damage, and this may be the level 2 death.
No,
Ooh.
they are going to be missing that. But right now, they, as you aforementioned, they have just taken so much poke in this lane. And you have Jin, who started with boot and 4 pots, so he's going to be able to heal his way through it as well as having that fleet footwork proc. So he is going to be sitting very well and having kind of in the driver's seat for this lane in the bot side.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from a bit of a misplay from both Yash and Karma. We saw early on how they had control over the push closest to the blue tower, but the big issue is that they came out way too early. They missed their poke, and the counter poke came in perfectly. But that's why it's so important to have that sort of advantage when you go out with the first instance of poke. Because if you win the first one, every bit after that is going to count even more so because now you're stacking up the damage. And then, like you point out, the fact that they have advantage in pots as well on the Jin made it easier for them to be able to be a bit more aggressive with the plays that they go. And top lane, Thorn,
All right, that's going to be Dark Harvest coming through. That's going to be forcing Flash out of Thorn. No first blood yet.
not just yet. And interestingly enough, we also see the Ash throw out the Hawkshot to see if the Gragas was close by, but they have a ward down there, so they know 100% roll X's is there.
Yeah, right now, I think I obviously in the meantime, Malphite took a lot of damage, is going to be having to back. Then TP towards tower is only able to pick up the refill pot. Right now, they're going to be trying to look to potentially dive. But I think this might be a little bit too ambitious. There's not. There is a fair bit of a minion wave, but they now ignore help under towers. That was a change with 13.10.
Interesting decision there by the Gragas. I'm actually not against it if you're able to push them away from the lane, but they really didn't achieve that. They pushed just a bit, but the Ashe still was able to collect a bit of that CS and also didn't get any summers out of that. But at the same time, the Karthus is pretty equal in terms of how you would speed clear with your speed. Like you're pointing out, he has quite a bit of a fast clear, and with the gang top lane, he kind of delayed that for a bit, but the Gragas should be able to not only answer back with some of these camps, be close enough to the Karthus that it doesn't matter, but also maybe find another opportunity to go for a gank.
Yeah, but right now, Karthus is still just kind of ahead of him. So like Karthus is really just kind of holding the tempo of the game. Gragas hasn't gotten to get a back off at this moment, so Karthus is going to be in a pretty good position if he wanted
Oh,
to
nice.
potentially just rotate down to Dragon. But obviously, with bot lane, the SGU's bot lane shoving in, I think it's going to be unlikely. So I'm curious as to where Karthus is wanting to spend his time.
Well, he doesn't need to really spend it anywhere, right? Like he can just continue to power farm until level 6 and then keep on farming. Like realistically, his game plan could be just farm until you're 20 minutes in or the game is almost over,
Well,
and
because
then
you
begin
clear so
actually
fast,
doing
you
anything.
clear so fast that your camps aren't even respawned yet because it has a 2 minute delay. So like
It's
he
just so
clears,
free,
he,
yeah.
he flash farms it. So it's like you have like a 15-second or like 20-second window there. So it's like, what do you want to do with it?
The other angle he could look for is to try and go for consistent steals, but that would require you to have consistent push from your lane so that you have support everywhere. That would be the other angle. He has been quite a bit towards this top side, and I think it's because it's the lane that has the less risk. Oh, Wade. Ash.
Ooh, Karma almost able to get that root off, but unable to. But now Jin using Ghost, trying to chase down John, but unable to find any grabs. But it's going to be a play in the top side. Dawn just being unrelentless against Thorn.
Well, it does come from the gang that came through from the Carthus, but in the bot lane we saw the trade, and a ghost use, you would argue it's an advantage for the Ash Karma because they did actually blow the ghost off of the Jin. But I think that ghost is a pretty normal summoner to use. You're not going to give up almost anything because of that, and the bottling gank is not going to turn into much unless this action is able to accomplish anything.
Yeah, I find it a little bit doubtful at this time. Considering the bot lane's resources, I think this could go disastrously for them, and they are kind of feeling the same vibe coming from them, so they're just going to be backing off here.
Yeah, everyone just decides collectively we are not going to force anything just yet. Although the Gragas is still down there on the bot side.
Oh, you might have spoke too soon. Bye. Okay, I thought Bye was maybe going to be looking a little bit harder,
Oh,
but
Ash.
that's going to be Ash getting caught out. That's heal coming down. Flash is kind of wasted there. That's going to be Rolly picking up that first blood. Now Karma just going to be dashing on out of there.
This bot lane control from the Jhin and the Balkas has been so good so far, and then you have to give the credit to Rulexis. Was spotted with the hawkshot, but played around that slight moment of vision where it's going down to go towards the bot side. They don't have any vision, as you can see, and they set up a perfect play. Even if the Ashe has the flash, it doesn't matter. They still fall victim to the Gragas gang, and that's going to turn not only into first blood, not only into a huge amount of minions lost to the turret, but also first dragon of the game, something that it's so crucial and pivotal for a lot of the teams right now in the meta.
Yeah, at this point in time, obviously you're going to be sacrificing a bit of farm on the Gragas, but kind of that same farm disadvantage that you see across the junglers, you kind of see in the bot lane. So Jin is just, as you aforementioned, just putting on a clinic with Wally down there.
And I think you would rather have the surf advantage early on if you're on the side of stunned, because your champions are going to spike a bit earlier and much more effectively towards that 15 to 25-minute mark compared to the Karthus. Karthus is going to be an amazing monster come late game. But if you want to have action earlier than that, Jin is going to be really good to try and give advantages to, and they certainly are doing the work here by giving him not only the push, but also the kills and the plates in the mid lane. That is a lot of damage in the mid lane, though.
All right. All right. Just going to be committing the auction ult there a little bit early. Just wanting to put out some extra damage, but now it seems they are potentially rotating to go for this Rift Herald.
It's going to be a pretty easy Rift Herald to get. They have the
Yeah.
Karma, they have the Karthus, they have pushing two lanes, so barely any contest. And they knew it was happening as well because of that pink ward. But in the meanwhile, you do have the bot lane getting pushed, and I think you could set up a potential kill as well with the Gragas. Yeah, going over the other side, I think it can perfectly happen.
Yeah, it looks like John is going to be in
Oh,
trouble. The explosive cast going to be missing. That's going to be
Jin.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow under a tower, but not even able to do much. They weren't able to pick it up quite yet, but John going down to the curtain call.
Yeah, it was looking a bit scary there with how it started, but Shadow Knight doesn't worry about it. Does have to use the flash, but they still get the kill, a kill for the Jhin. They are getting the plates as well. No turret is going to fall just yet in the top side, although the Rip Herald is getting laid down, so probably trying to set up for that play up there, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to take it down.
That's going to be
Ooh,
Shelly cramming in this top side. Dawn's going to be taking the turret. Aggro is not going to be going down. That shield
Souls
just
has
going to
no
be enough,
mana.
but Wallace is going to be falling down. Shelly will be able to pick up the next plate, but Malphite being able to get out of there for free, obviously at the cost of some tower plates, but is still picking up a kill in that dire situation.
That is such a good outplay coming in from the side of Stun Gaming. Thorn getting the kill onto the Karthus. Karthus had no mana at that play. They forced it so heavily, but they didn't have enough damage and or enough mana to be able to close it out. And at the end, it turns into a counter kill, the turret not falling down, and then the plate is still falling down heavily on the bot side. The advantage that the Jhin of the Karthus and the Belkos have down here is so good for them, and I think they probably will be able to get this turret. Yeah, it should be. They should be able to perfectly get it. It's 4,200 gold in favor of the Jhin to just 2,400 of the Ashe.
Yeah, Jin's going to be able to finally get it back off and be able to spend it. I'm most assuredly believing that he's going to be going for that Storm Razor. And then he could look to go for like an Energizer build, or could just go into some more of the tried and true Gale Force, considering that they increase the damage for it. So I'm curious as to what he could be going for. He could go for IE as well. That's had a very strong win rate across all levels of play.
I honestly think this game. Wait. Oh, the
That's
double
going to be,
ulti perfect.
wow, that death sentence coming through. Caught both of them, but the pullback a little bit too early, and Rolexis is going to be getting quite low. And that's going to be a nice
Oh, it's
dash
enough
out, but
damage.
Wally's still going to be getting the pickup onto Akshan.
It's not going to be enough to get the last kill, but it's still 1-0. They get the kill in the mid lane. They force the push. They may lose turret in the top lane, but they are going to get even more plates here for the Jhin, taking a bit too much damage maybe towards those turret shots, but it all works out in the end. And you can see the amount of damage that some of these champions are already dealing down here, but also the value from the super long range ultimates from both the Jhin and the Vel'Koz to be able to close out on some of these kills.
Yeah, obviously we saw the curtain call under that under that T1 on the bot side of the map earlier in the game, and that just life form disintegration ray, just being able to barely pick up stars was just
But they got it.
honestly lending itself well to the artillery.
That's certainly the case, and also with these kills, getting now the potential to keep control over the dragon. With the second one spawning just now in 20 seconds, as well as the coming ones being able to spawn really quick, I think it's going to be a good opportunity to try and seize as much control of the game as possible for the set of a stunt. Oh, Souls. Okay, he gets it.
Yeah, at this point, I think they are potentially looking to just give up Dragon. Wallace is kind of low. I guess you could just kind of throw the Gragas corpse into there. Ooh, that's going to be stars getting chunked out down to half. Wally is going to be nearby. I think they might have to get this dragon. We got maybe too many people potentially too low.
Sion is still topside as well.
Yeah. I think you just have the
Ooh.
Noxian Terror just continue to shove in the top side.
Yeah, I think that, and that flash from Beakers there, I think that pretty much just sets the dragon for perfect control over on the side of a stun. They get the second dragon of the game. They will keep control up for the at least for the next couple of minutes. Kind of interested which soul we're going to get. Infernal. This for their composition is going to be really big if they are able to get it.
Ooh, they will be able to get the plate. Wally, no, is not going to be able to find that angle there.
It's a
But I
difficult
think there
angle to
is
get.
a pretty good at vision control on the side of. He's just standing on top of the control
Oh
ward.
no.
Uh,
Yeah, some people would say it's not a good idea to back on top of a ward, and Souls has no flash. They can actually force this.
not just any ward, a control ward, because like sometimes it's
Exactly.
hard. Yeah, like sometimes it's hard to like know if there exactly if there's an observer there, but like on top of the control in the pixel brush.
So I
Just
feel like the argument would be that they wanted to back as soon as possible, and they thought there was no chance because of the distance to be stopped. But I don't agree with that argument. I think you have
yeah.
to be safer.
Yeah, I think that is just a little bit of a blunder because like right now this is not that high of a kill game at this point.
Oh,
Oh, Bai gonna be going for that dash, unable to find that pickup there. That's gonna be a curtain call coming through. John could be in trouble. Karma just gonna be eating a lot of this damage. That's Jin quite low, but unable to get any follow up.
they failed a bit of abilities there in the mid lane, but I think this should be enough to at least be able to force a turret. Oh,
That's going to be
wait,
explosive cast coming through. That's going to be forcing a double flash. Dawn
Alex
almost
is
able to
dead.
find that angle, but Walla is going to be picking up Relexis. Now it's going to be Thorn trying to run away the best they can. This could be the first proc of Heartsteel. Nope, we're not going to be seeing it quite yet.
We're 14 minutes in, and there's still no hard steel proc for the Sion. He tried though. We have to
Hey,
see. He tried.
at least we found the control
Oh
ward.
wait. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. We're stacking.
He was playing
Can
the
we?
long game. That's really good.
Absolutely. Can we get the next one? Oh,
Maybe.
no.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. He's going to get it sooner next
I
time.
want to see
I
the
believe
funny
in
big
him.
number get really big.
Well, it's Sion. It's going to get big anyway.
Fair.
Oh, Karma.
Uh-oh. You have no flash. You are dead. That's going to be Shadowknight getting that pickup there. This Jin is just... Honestly, the bot lane for SGU is just absolutely feasting on Burgundy.
I agree. That being said, was it really necessary to use the Malphite Unstoppable Force on a Karma that had no flash?
Sure, why not? Low
Was it really
cooldown.
that
Low cooldown,
important?
funnel more gold on Jin.
True, I guess. Like any
Because
kill for
now
Jin,
they get to shove in the top side here.
any kill for Jin is technically a good kill at this point of the game. I'm not sure how much they need to make it as useful as possible, but yeah, technically it is.
Oh, that enchanted
Good
crystal arrow
damage.
almost finding the grab onto Wally, but just gonna be barely missing from downtown.
Oh, Karthus.
Oh,
Okay,
you
he
play
knows. It's
dangerous
okay.
games there, Carthus.
He knows. It's fine. Completely fine. No, I wasn't scared at all for the Karthus. And in the
Nope.
mid lane, it's just a competition between the low farmers of the game. Oh no, Souls.
Uh-oh.
He's fast enough though.
Hey, I was gonna say he put damage into the camp. That's gonna be flash coming through
Oh,
wall. Is gonna be thrown under tower by the explosive cast. Gonna be flashing over the wall. Gonna be doing some damage to the camp. Now we'll get sped up by that. Running to the karma. That could be right. Oh, just barely getting away. Death sentence is gonna be getting to pick up. Walla is now gonna be going down. None of this damage is gonna be coming through from the corpse.
oh wait.
Hey, that's gonna be
One
Heartsteel. Kitty
stack.
chase the Jin. Jin still has Ghost. Gonna get slowed down. No knock up.
No, he should be fine.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
enough.
I was say I'm fairly certain Storm Razor, and if it goes badly, you got Ghost, but I doubt. We used that unstoppable onslaught quite early.
But you have to see the bright side. He got another stack. So positive thinking is what we
Amen.
need to aim.
Amen to that.
Jin hasn't completed his mythic, so for the next fight, they are actually quite close in terms of what they can try and accomplish for the side of Burgundy. They actually have opportunity to make the fight work out there in their favor.
Yes, another.
Three.
Sorry.
Nah, it's okay. Every stack is good. Every bit of opportunity they have for that is great.
I don't have STDs. I'm getting stacks. Every stack is good.
Okay. And there's a lot of stacks in the game, by the way.
Oh, no doubt. As I say, you got the few Dark Harvests. You got Grasp of the Undying. I
Yeah,
think you
actually,
have.
Sion is double stacking. Now that I think about it, he's
Yeah.
stacking. He's triple stacking because of his passive as well.
Was it? What does Ash have for runes? Nope. She went the inspiration route. What did Jin go? He went Gathering Storm. So Jin's gonna be infinity stacking. Ooh,
Everyone is
Rolex could be
stacking.
taking a fair bit of damage. That Enchanted
That's a
Crystal Arrow
lot
is
of
going to be getting him
damage.
quite low. This might be an ultimate coming in from Karthus here shortly, but Dawn getting quite low
Sion took a lot of
themselves.
damage as well.
But ooh, that's gonna be Shave Knight gonna be taking a bunch of damage, but that's gonna be Wallace still barely living for a while.
But
But
he
now
comes back.
Corpse doing a lot of damage. Gonna be coming back, gonna be helping his team. Will he be able to get the ultimate, kill some people? That's gonna be a triple kill for Karthus. That's gonna be a free dragon. Nice revive.
Yeah, and just like that, everyone came back over on the side. Well, actually, not everyone. Ash is still dead. But that was such a good fight coming in for the side of Burgundy. And they turned around a really dangerous situation. With the action, you can always revive someone in a fight. But I think the side of Sun Gaming kind of took a bit too fast the way that they were wanted to force this dragon. They were forcing it too quickly. Gragas took way too much damage to start it up, and then I think the Yoni took a bit too much force on how he wanted to go for the ultimate because he goes in at the start with the ulti, no soul unbound, and that makes it so that he comes out and he's an easy target to kill. He actually wasn't even able to escape that effectively. So really good fight for the set of Burgundy. Really messy how Sun Gaming wanted to force it.
Also, I want to apologize to everyone. I thought it was death sentence for the Yoan ultimate. It's fate sealed. Words are
Yeah.
hard. Apologies there.
There's many ultimates in the game. It's okay.
Oh my god, yes. There are so many abilities, so many passives. They just changed all the items. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's always great when they add everything new. They changed a little small detail of everything, but now you're stuck with the old one. Like when it was Ninja Tawais and they changed it to
Yeah.
play the steel
Play the
caps.
steel caps.
Never
I think
forget.
I think the hardest one now is like Ornn, with like having to like relearn all the ornament names. Because it's like you now have Ginsu's rate. Oh, wait. Stars could be in trouble. That's going to be Bork coming through. He's going to be missing that. Here's the Fate Unsealed. Will that be enough damage? It will not be.
Oh,
Ooh. Going to be barely surviving with the repel there. But you have Ginsu's Rage Blade, which is like now Seething Sorrow, if I recall. Like they just got like some of these crazy names.
yeah, that's That's an interesting one. I didn't know it was Soothing Sorrow. Really interesting approach to how they wanted to change it. But that's the thing with Ornn. Like every time you add an item that can be converted into an ornament, you're going to be forced into that. Can they kill the Sion in the top lane? No.
I think they can, given some time to whittle him down and take him out. But I think he could potentially be taking on that tower.
Yeah, the issue is that they are going to take way too long, and by the time they are close to killing him, someone from his team is going to come and help him.
But Ash right now went for
Oh,
Storm Reserves, wanting to go for
wait.
that. Ooh, well, he's going to be getting the knockup. Shade's going to be coming in from downtown. They're going to be getting that miss. He's bobbing and weaving. He's got his dancing shoes on. That's going to be curtain call used. Unable to find Wallace on that. But now trying to just go for a little bit of extra poke. Unable to find it.
Yeah, the angle from Jin there really weird, opting on towards more so the jungle, and at the end it allows for a perfect escape for the Karthus because he just had a free entry towards the river without having to be poked or anything like that. They are looking, hovering for that Sion in the top lane.
Dawn could be in trouble, but hey, at least you can go down swinging, take some stacks with you on the way out.
He flashed.
That's gonna be flash used. We're gonna be diving in front of it with the unstoppable force. So that's gonna be stopping him dead in his tracks. But can Dawn at least deal a fat chunk of damage before going down? That's gonna be Wally just getting killed for free. That's gonna be Rolly picking up the
Is it enough?
at that shutdown, but unable to get any kill by getting quite low. Will the comeuppance come through? It will be finding it with just the Q alone.
Went back for the minions, maybe thinking that he needed the lifesteal, but at the end it bites him back, and that is going to be another kill for this Action. Action actually not doing that bad. 3-2, 163 CS, putting a lot of pressure onto the side lane. Maybe they can actually collapse onto both the Ashe and the Karma here.
Oh, Ash is going to get knocked up instantly. That Shade.
Dead.
Gone.
Took about a really easy kill to get down there in the bot side towards that Ashe, and maybe they can find even more. Maybe the bait of trying to go for the Karma can actually kill the Action here, but it looks like they are not going to overcommit. They are not going to rush the issue, and that is just going to turn into one kill onto the Ashe. She's 1-4. She has died already quite a bit, so it's nothing new to her.
Yeah. I was going to say, she's super behind at this point. It's like, she doesn't have 2 completed items at the 20-minute mark. So she is extremely behind for ADC-wise, versus Jin has the upgraded boots, has 2 completed item, is already starting to work on the 3rd. So Ashe obviously is going to be still quite important with the hawk shots, being able to get that vision, but the enchanted crystal arrow being able to stun for like, I think it's like 5 or 5.5 seconds, which is disgusting.
Depends on distance, right?
So
yeah,
it goes by distance, but at the max, okay, 3.5 seconds, but I think for later on,
it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's one of the longest stuns in the game, so just being quite potent.
Jin
but Shade getting quite low. Karthus ult is coming up. That could, I'm like, Requiem could just kill Shade. But that's gonna be an unstoppable onslaught coming through.
Ooh.
Shadow Crystal Arrow is gonna be stopping Yone in his tracks. It's gonna be Wally trying to do as much damage as possible. Wall is gonna be getting picked up early in this fight, but the Requiem coming through. That's not gonna be killing anyone, but they're all quite low. Will Akshan be able to get anyone? He has the comeuppance coming through, but Wally in trouble. Stopwatch came out, but unable to do anything. Now it's Bai and Shade. They're the only survivors on SGU. Able to get the knockup onto Stars, but unable to do anything further. That's going to be a repel coming through. Will he be able to get the pickup? He will not be. He will be giving away a big old shutdown.
Wait, and because they killed the Action here, that means that it's going to be a bit difficult to actually force the Dragon. None of the carries are backing those, so maybe it gives them an opportunity to try and make the Baron. Oh, wait, Don, you're backing the wall.
They're going to be going for this. There's no reason not to. Yeah,
now run away.
Giving shutdowns left, right, and center, and this game is thrown right back into the open in a waiting lapse of SGU.
Exactly, and Jin is actually quite healthy right now, so if he can wait enough time, he could potentially just make it so that the team can arrive here on time. It's just 3 members against the other 5 of this on the side of Stunt Gaming, and they have the numbers advantage here to play around with it.
This could go poorly. Ooh, Wallace got dance shoes on. It's just gonna be slipping through a lot of this damage. Rolex is just gonna be Rolex is gonna be chunked down to half.
Action is here as well.
I think this is just going to be just a fight again. Bai going to be jumping into the back line. Thorn going to be joined with them. Dawn TP'd in behind. Going to be taking down one with them. Right now, Dawn trying to shove into this. Bai going to be picking up 3 with the Fate
Bai gets
Unsealed.
one.
Bai is getting low, unable to do anything more. John's going to be getting that pickup. And now it's just
Oh,
Thorn
it's
all
not
by
enough.
themselves. And that's going to be the majority of SGU. Actually, yeah, that's SGU just going down. Jin's going to be coming in now. Will it be in time? Will he be able to stop this dragon? I don't think so. I think it's going to be going
He's
freely
running
over to
away.
the side of DAB, or I'm just going to call him Dab. Let's just make it easy. They're Dab.
There, Dab. And Dab is able to get the dragon as of now. Second dragon of the game in their favor. They are able to win the fight, the back-to-back fight, because it's so long that they were able to make a 5v3 into a 5v4 into a 5v5. They actually were able to just play it into their advantage, and it turns into such a good team fight for them. And look at the items. Now it's in favor of the side of Dab. They have 3 items on the Karthus, 2 on the Scion, 3 on the Action, 2 on the Ash. It's just so much power at this point in the game. And for a moment, it was looking really good for the side of Stun. But their windows are falling apart. They are past 25 minutes, the strongest points for some of these champions. And I'm not sure if it's going to keep to be able to restabilize like that, or if it's going to keep getting better for the side of that.
I think it will just continue to get better for Dab. I mean, you have just a lot of these late game skillers. Scion, as we aforementioned, is going to be triple stacking this health, so it's just going to be getting a lot of smacks off. It's just going to be flashing out to Shade. Shade's going to be forced to use that Gale Force and get on out. That's going to be Ash, Cristiano Crystal Arrow.
Malphite is
That's going to
dead.
be Thorn just CC'd into oblivion. John getting that pickup. But now, this could set up for a potential Baron. You do have Gragas and Yon on the sideline. They are trying to look for a potential angle. That's going to be Stars all by himself. The Repel going to be getting away. Rolex unable to get the grab. That's Explosive Cast going to shove him back to the team.
He's dead, though.
He's going to get him knocked up. That's going to be him going down. Bai going to be getting the grab.
The second
That's
one, maybe?
2. Fate Sealed, unable to do anything else. John surviving with a sliver, but that's going to be Jin getting the pickup onto Ash. Wally. And Wallace just going to be doing a lot of damage. Triple kill for Wallace. Can he find Wally?
It's going to be close. They are running away, but I don't think it's going to be the kill.
Ooh, it does tag him.
One more cube.
Dawn's playing a dangerous game here. Obviously does have the shield, but I think you maybe have to give it up at this point.
Exactly. It's going to turn into just a teamfight victory for the side of DAP. They still have 2 members to everyone else that died on the side of Stunned Gaming. That being said, you can see how strong DAB is right now by the fact that the tank, Malphite, dies in a couple of seconds. He actually cannot survive the huge amount of damage and CC that is coming through from the side of DAB. And that's a scary prospect. If your tank cannot survive, what potential is there for the others later on as well?
Guardian Angel?
Guardian
Angel stopwatch? I think that's about it. Otherwise, yeah, you're very much in trouble. I think Jin with Ghost maybe just being a little too fast is hard to deal with, but
is this
it's
going
to be SGU going to be going for this Baron. But as Star's going to be able to spot them out. Yeah, they're able to get the ward on it. They're trying to chunk them out. It's getting to 4,000, 2,000, 1,000. That's going to be a grab for them. Thorn going to get the pickup. John coming in from the sideline, going to get the knockup. Shade quite low. Are they able to get the kill onto him? That's going to be him going down. John's getting the kill. It's Akshan for Jin, but they did get Baron.
They played it out really, really well. Took advantage of the opportunity where Swoles was on the bot side. They didn't know particularly that the Karthus was bot side, but they took advantage of that. They rushed the Baron and they were able to destroy it before the Karthus was even close to doing damage. This can prolong the game for at least a bit longer so that they can try and find some angles to try and turn around the game. It's still looking bleak, or not bleak, difficult, but at least it buys you time to find more opportunities. And a champion that we haven't talked much that is going to keep on scaling for the side of Stun is going to be that Yone, already with 3 items as well.
Yeah, Yone obviously does not scale infinitely, but like against the likes of Dawn, I will kind of just be dashing themselves upon the rocks, but is going to be quite potent against the rest of Dab.
Yeah. Like, at least he can try and secure a kill in the backline. And if he can achieve that, I think that's already great job by.
Actually, important thing to note, Scion doesn't have much armor at this point. It only has the Bramble Vest and the Sunfire Aegis. So not as much tank as the counterpart Jack Show Aegis, Plated Steel Cap, and the Frozen Buckler, right? Glacial Buckler. Whoops.
close enough. Glacial, frozen. They both are cold. Oh,
Ooh, that's gonna be Karma. Gonna be using that heal. Gonna be keeping teammate alive. Gonna be assisting him by walking him out. But that's gonna be Curtain Call coming out of Jin.
completely fine. No fear at all on the Karma's eyes. Oh, 2 stars full.
Oh,
Oh no.
Wally gonna get the knock up. Unstoppable onslaught.
Wait,
Yeah.
he's alive?
Wow. Okay,
Woo!
Gilforce gonna be getting the pickup there, but that's gonna be forcing a flash out of shade. That's gonna be Channel
He
Crystal
got
Air coming in
stunned.
from downtown. Gonna be stunning him. Dawn's on the front line. Gonna be smashing through. Requiem
I think
coming
Jin dies.
through.
Yeah.
Boom! Let's go. Getting a double kill over onto Karthus, but this is gonna be, I think, a free dragon for Yone unless they're able to get a TP over there. But
Nah,
Dawn
he
doesn't
has enough
have it.
health.
You have no ignite, no nothing. This is just gonna be free dragon go over to buy. Really, just keeping it down and holding it down for for macro.
Yeah, after 2 failed attempts, they finally secured the third dragon of the game. But that was still such a big amount of damage in the top lane. It felt like a big into the action, but then immediately turned around by the Cyan and the Karthus to be able to secure 2 crucial kills into the bot lane and also the kill onto the Malphite. This will allow for them to push into the base, maybe not get a lot out of this push, not necessarily an inhibitor, but certainly at least force something out.
While you're gonna be putting in
Oh,
a big chunk
Yone!
of damage, that's gonna be faded and sealed. Ooh, that's gonna be some shutdowns going over to Yone for free. Can he get the kill on
Oh,
Rolex? Yes,
perfect
he
time.
does. Right before he expires, posthumously getting that kill.
It was really close to be able to find to get that, but at the end they do secure the kill. Dawn should be fine. I don't think there's
Yeah,
enough
I
speed
think
to
he's
get
getting
there.
away.
It's a difficult one, but they get 2 kills again, really good. They get a huge shutdown off of the Karthus as well. If I'm not wrong, it's the Yone that gets it, so that means that you're getting a huge amount of gold value. They haven't spent just yet on that gold value, but now it's the counter push. It was previously onto the other base, now it's onto Dobbs base.
So important thing to know, I think they're just going to be getting this mid tower here. I don't know if they can necessarily go for the mid tower afterwards, but
I don't think it's worth.
if you do sadly give Infernal Drag over to Dab, I think that could potentially be game ending for SGU because Wolaz is like as we saw before was putting out insane damage with Requiem. If you add Infernal
Yeah.
Drake with that and Infernal Soul with that, ooh, that's gonna be brutal.
The
Unstoppable
start
Onslaught
of the
coming
fight.
through. That's gonna be Enchanted Crystal Arrow, just gonna be stunning him up. That's going to be
Oh
Vi coming over the
no!
wall. Going to be flashing away with John. Now Thorn in the back line all by himself. Going to be going down. Life disintegration rate. Trying to do as much as they can.
Ooh.
Wally barely surviving. Comeuppance going to be putting in a lot of work, but Vi's going to get picked up by
Okay, they get
Wallace.
it.
Now it's going to be Rolexus coming over the wall. Going to get the pickup. That's going to be Wally surviving for the time being, but not for too long. Can Don get it? Wally survives. That's going to be a triple kill for the Karthus, but is only survived by John and Wally.
It ends up actually being a 4-4-4 because of the revive from the action. The Ash comes back. That means that nobody's going to get any real advantage out of that. No objective, so they cannot over push to one side. But this game is just way too close for comfort. And look at how that fight went, even though 2 crucial ultimates failed. Both Fate and Seal and Unstoppable Force failed in that fight. And they almost actually won it without those ultimates connecting. That's how much damage they have and how well they can force their fights. It's just how well positioned they are to make it happen and how much they have in their favor in that fight.
So an important thing to note, Fate Unsealed, you could say like failed in the sense of you didn't get the Ash, however, it forced the Flash out of Ash.
Yeah,
So
true.
now that it's gonna be free and open for the Unstoppable Force in this upcoming I'm assuming upcoming fight for Baron. Obviously, I can't truly predict the future, but I think it is quite likely, seeing how these teams have been wanting to fight around objectives near constantly. They haven't wanted to like give up some objectives and then go for like tower takes. So at this point, I think we're going to be seeing a fight for Baron.
It's going to be an interesting second fight after what happened in the previous one. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. Bai is getting spotted. Everyone knows where everyone kind of is. Although Vision Control. Oh wait, Souls.
Ooh, that's gonna push Wallace over. That flash coming in handy, getting him away from this. That's gonna be Curtain Call used quite early on here. Not gonna be getting anyone real low. Wallace is down to half, but hey, it's a Karthus. It doesn't. there could be better targets to get down to half health, but by trying to put in some poke damage,
Ulti?
the Requiem coming through. Ooh, crunchy, and
Wally's
that's
dead?
gonna be comeuppance. Just gonna get Wally. Get out of this fight right now. We don't need that artillery mage coming through. We do have Dragon coming up in under a minute as well.
This should be
That's
Baron though. Yes, souls may die here, but realistically, you just put someone to tank, and everyone else commits to getting this Baron. Oh, the engage!
Fade Unsealed. That's gonna be
Oh,
grabbing
it's
so many.
perfect.
The unstoppable force coming in from the side of this. This is a disaster. Are they gonna be able to get the?
Oh, they get him!
Carthus was still just posthumously able to get the Baron as well. And Dawn, can he get a kill? No, he can't. That's going to be Shade
Nobody gets
getting that
Baron.
pickup. Everyone died. Oh,
That's
no.
actually
This is going to
sold.
be a free soul going over to the side of SGU.
They got the pick onto Wally, which I think is one of the biggest champions right now on the side of Sun. But everyone positioned in the same spot. They were flip flopping between going for the Baron or not. When they finally decided for it, everyone puts themselves in the same spot and they become the perfect bait or the perfect target for the Yone to just engage. And as soon as that comes down, it's just everything falling into place for the side of Stun. That being said, Carthus almost makes it so that it doesn't matter. But it was such a close call, such a close fight, and now the soul goes in the favor of the side of Aston. But I'm kind of scared, Verdant, because now I'm not sure if that is going to be enough to close out the game. And if it goes into other territory, whoever gets it, that's game done. That's game over.
Yeah. So right there, honestly, I think the only thing that really positively changes that fight from Dab, outside of just position better, duh. But outside of that, I think getting the exhaust onto the Yone when he's able to
True.
pick up that many. Karma had it up; it was active, but unable to get that off, and Yone just put in the work and put down a lot of damage for his team.
I also think the action was a bit too passive in the way that he approached that. Because he was waiting on the side, yes, but your invincibility should be able to give you a bit more opportunity to go closer towards the side of the jungle from them and not stay so close towards the Baron. I think you kind of messed up on that opportunity and could have been a bit more beneficial for them if they had the action a bit more of an aggressive spot.
But right now, we are getting close to kind of getting to the margins of potentially the longest game of the week. Longest game of last week was 43 minutes and I believe 28 seconds. So we could be seeing just kind of that potentially the longest slog of the week.
3 more minutes. We just need that. Or actually four.
5.
Yeah,
I
5 minutes.
five to just push it over.
Okay, yeah. Almost four for equaling, 5 to go over.
Yeah.
I think we go over the distance. I don't think they are going to fight before an objective, and I'm really not trying to cast or curse it. I almost.
Okay. I mean, Requiem is doing, I'd say, like 2/5 of Jin's health there. Wally, I'd say
Okay.
over half.
So Wally has 2,300 health. That Requiem did, and he's now 1,200 health. He pretty much lost 1,100 health from the ultimate, plus, and without counting what he recovered, plus the burn from the Leandris. That's a lot of health that he lost just now.
Yeah. But obviously he's able to get back to base. It's not going to matter much. But now Karthus is locked in where has all of their items, has no boots, so is just going to be stuck with what we got at this point. Only going to be able to buy blue pots and obviously infinite scaling with the Dark Harvest. Going to be continuously stacking up the damage. But I'm curious as to what does he have for secondary. It's just going to be last stand and presence of mind. So we are not going to be seeing another stack. Well, that's going to be Wally going to get grabbed by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but nothing going to be coming of it. Come up and it's going to be putting in a lot of damage. Can Ash get it? No, that's going to be flash away. Yeah, John getting a little, just feeling themselves a little bit too much, but Shade going to be potentially in trouble. Requiem comes through. Shade is dead. Yeah, this Requiem started up. Ooh, has the stopwatch. Going to be able to survive this.
That was a scary, scary one, but they picked off the Ash in the worst possible spot. They are pushing towards the base. They have Infernal Soul. We need to remember that. Oh, wait, look!
Oh,
Bye
boom,
bye.
boom, unstoppable. Left, right, and center, just getting all of
Carthus
these
is dead. I
knockouts.
think that's game.
Laws. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, being able to just keep the Karthus corpse away from the rest of your squad, very important for them. I I think this should spell the end. Unless
That should be game,
they
yeah.
are going to be a little bit of goobers about this, but yeah, I think that's game. We are not going to be seeing the longest game. Yeah, I jinxed it.
It was just a couple of minutes away from it, but it was really close. Still, the game went on for so long that it was looking so prime for Dab to actually be able to take it. But huge credit to the side of Stan. They played around the Carthus so well. The ultimate was coming through consistently, but at the end, it didn't really matter because of the stopwatches, the Sonyas, but also with the fact that they never forced a fight after the Requiem was used or before the Requiem was used. They played around it so well and they made the most out of the fact that Carthus was in a bad spot. Really well played by Sond.
I honestly there I so for Dab, I think they hard fought it out. They played fairly well. I think they just lost to like some macro choices, but for the most part, they won a lot of their team fights. Their Wallace did a great job out of the jungle. I think John in the bot lane for Dab was really just in kind of struggling. I think the Ash and Karma were both struggling. I'm not going to just say it was just
Yeah.
John, but Karma was then recognizing that, hey, lost lane, I got to go roam. And I think that was the correct choice. But at that point, you are just completely down a player outside of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and Hawk shots.
Yeah, that was also another important part to not be fall or falling victim to. Yeah, that's the way to put it. Like they actually, there were instances where they got caught up by that, but they played around that as well really well. And the instances where they didn't allow for them to be caught out from the enchanted crystal arrow or anything like that, they made the most out of the situation.
But all right, we are going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you with the draft for game two. Hello, everyone. We are back with a game to draft. We're going to be having Dab switching over to the blue side in SGU on the red side. We still don't want to see that Rengar. Get him out. But with Dab having the first pick of the draft, do you think we are going to be seeing? What do you think is going to be a good priority pick for them? They
It's an
struggled in the bot lane.
interesting
Do
call.
you do you
Oh,
pick for your bot lane or do you pick a flexible option?
yeah, I was going. Just a quick thing. It's the Hercurm is the ban for the guys of stun. So just to keep that in mind and
Okay.
thinking about things to take away, I'm actually quite interested in what the Gragas priority will be going forward because I feel like it had a really big impact in the previous game. And once again, its flexibility is nothing to scoff at. So you can actually just force it on your side in any position. It's going to find a lot of value.
So, okay, Ari, yeah, very good, solid mid laner. Going to be getting rid of Udyr. It's going to be fairly similar to the draft that most of the draft that we saw the last game. I think we might potentially see. I we could see a respect ban on like against the Karthus. Karthus had a lot of impact there,
Yep.
but they could leave it open. But yep, okay. Malphite is going to be the thing they are getting rid of. Malphite leading, and just kind of in the later half of this 13th season, he's found a lot of just value in the top lane. Yep, there's a card this ban.
And I think it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
Malphite is a champion that barely loses lanes. Will find value later in the game. Like you could see how he was getting bursted out, but one good ulti almost always makes it so that he can set up for a good kill. And I think it's important as well the fact that right now in the meta, there's a lot of slow and mobility carries that are getting picked. So that kind of magnified also his pick priority in a lot of instances, and that makes it so that he can be picked in a lot of situations. But with the Malphite ban, the Milieu is open, and it's going to be first pick. With not that much surprise, Milieu is such a high priority pick that it's not surprising seeing it here. I would love to see those stunned answering with a Seri Yumi because I think that it's one of the most broken combos there is right now.
Yeah, I think that one is fairly strong. Or we could be seeing a hook support in response.
True.
We could be seeing like a Jin Thresh, and then that would be really
Jin Blitz.
troublesome for
Let's
Milio.
go.
For what?
Jin Blitz. I want to see the Blitzcrank here.
I say it one more time for me.
Oh, Jin Blitz.
Jin Blitz. Oh, Blitzcrank. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. I in my mind, what went through my mind at that particular moment was like Blitzcrank, not Blitzcrank, like Blitzkrieg Jin, and I'm like, is that? I'm like, so is that Dark Harvest Jin or what? What does that exactly mean? Yeah, yeah. So,
it's Jin with another
words.
gun.
Yeah. Oh no, he now has 8 shots. Run.
He has exactly, but he has to fire them one between the other. So he fires one, then on the other gun the other one. Like he
One,
cannot
one, two,
fire.
two,
Yeah, they
three,
cannot
three,
fire them
four,
on the same
four.
time.
That would be
Exactly.
disgusting in the sense of him just getting double final shot. Ugh.
It could be really, really
Gross as
strong.
hell. But that's going to be a Lucian Milio pickup that's honestly been pretty tried and true for season 13 for the 13.10 patch. It's been quite strong, but Jin Karma is a very good classic bot lane duo. So I think they're going to be potentially able to weather the storm. I think
And I feel like if
Jin.
you're playing the Jin Karma, it had to be kind of expected that it was going to be the Lucian Milio. Like if there is Milio, typically you will see the Lucian. So I think the Jin Karma was preemptive to that.
Yeah, I mean, you if you have Milio picked, like you could also be seeing Kog'Maw, but I
Yeah,
think
true.
the one that you're more worried about is the Lucian.
It's a bit stronger early on, so it makes sense that we're seeing it here. And we also see the Empress, which has risen quite a bit in priority. I think similar to the power that the Karthus can have late game, but when they didn't ban the Aurelion Sol, it's now immediately picked by stun. And as a huge Aurelion Sol fan in his current iteration, I'm so glad that we're going to see the dragon because I love that champion so much.
Yeah. Okay. As a spectator, love the champion. It's great. It's very cool particle effects, all that kind of stuff. To play against, oh man, can it be kind of miserable at times? But I'm hyped to also see the dragon.
And it's good that he's playing it against something like the Valbeth or Delusion, that even with the Milio, he still doesn't necessarily have the highest ranges. So if Lucian is out of position, you can actually end up messing up a bit of his combo. And the Milio cannot cleanse a lot of his abilities. So actually going to be quite useful to have this Aurelion Soul on your side. And the scaling is going to be massive later on as well.
Yeah, you're able to use the Breath of Life against the Disguised Ascender or Fallen Star, but at that point, like which isn't bad. However, for the most part, if you got stunned in it in the first place, you're also just going to get pulled in by Singularity, where it's like you got a lot of problems across the board, and I don't know if Breath of Life fixed them. It fixes them all by itself.
At least does a good enough job as of now, I would say. But certainly they still need to do a couple more things here and there. And with the top lane focus, I'm kind of interested how they are going to close out both comps. Well, there's technically you could take Bel'Veth in the top lane, so that could be a flex. But I'm expecting to see it in the jungle. And then in the other spots, I would love to have a tank battle in the top lane. Not because it's something I would love to watch, but I think both teams really need a tank to try and survive for a lot of what is happening on both sides. And with the Urn band, there's pretty much Sion and the rest.
I think TDS just wants to see just two burly boys slapping each other in the top lane.
See, that's the thing. We're going to get that a lot in the game, so
Yeah.
it's just a given. Sejuani,
Ronnie, good flex pick, can be thrown technically in the top lane, but also jungle. It's most likely going to be jungle. But hey, we shall see it. We have no melee options to go with her at current, so Frostbite is not going to be finding a lot of value. But it is a fairly safe pick for top or jungle. So I think Sejuani is a good pick up. Glacial Prison, very, very effective, especially if you're able to just hop over wall, throw Glacial Prison on Emilio. You could just blow up at the child. So
Kassadin.
Huh. Initially, I thought we were going to be seeing kind of a very early game shell coming out from Dab, but now with the Bel'Veth Kassadin pickup, seems that we're smooth. We're kind of going to let the Lucian play the early game, but then really allow Bel'Veth Kassadin to play out that late game. But Renekton, we want early.
Is this going to be the Graga? No, I think Renaction at least will give you a bit more option early on. It's
Okay,
Gragas
Greggy
instead.
boy. All right, yeah.
I honestly think you go Sion here and you just play around that. Like
Yeah,
top lane doesn't need anything. Nothing needs to happen in top lane, and then you just play for your mid to late game on the side of stun. And same can be said for that. Like I think their comps are kind of similar, but obviously the late game from Dav is going to depend a lot on the Bel'Veth and the Kassadin.
No. Counter offer, you play Warwick, and then you just beat Gragas.
They win
Thoughts?
Sion.
Boo.
They win Sion though. Yeah, they didn't
Boo.
hear you, Vernon.
I didn't scream loud enough.
The counter offer didn't come through. But hey, I think, or just as a side point, I think Warwick would have been fun, but I'm not sure if that would have been the pick that I would have gone.
Oh yeah,
through.
no. Okay, at this level of play, no. Most
Would have been
people,
fun.
most people can handle Warwick cheese, or then like be able to like get ganks off to it more effectively. You're able to talk to people, so it's not as efficient as it is in a solo duo.
Exactly, it's a bit difficult to try and pull up in that sense, but I would have loved to see it just because of how fun it looked like. Now the Sion though fits better for the overall idea of the comp. They have two really beefy tanks. They have a lot of consistent damage thanks to the Aurelion, and then you have a lot of good burst thanks to the Jhin as well. You can play from a safe distance, which Bel'Veth, Kassadin, and Gragas will hate because they really depend on trying to reach your backline or be close to your champions as easy as possible. The Lucian is the one that is going to maybe have more of the say in how a lot of the game goes on. But I think Stun has a better setup comp to try and pull that off and has less time to worry about what they need to achieve. Because Dab is depending on level 16 Kassadin or around the time in Kassadin, and then the Bel'Veth also scaling quite effectively. But if neither of those conditions are met, I can see just Stun being able to control a huge part of the game and then running with it.
So an odd question about Kassadin. Kassadin, you're able to get the, I believe it's Wave of Terror when you get that slow off, and that requires, I believe, 6 spells to be cast within a proximity of the champion. So with Aurelion Soul using, it's not Astral Breath, it's like Star Breath or something.
Breath
like
of
that.
Light, I think it is.
No, Breath of Life is Milio's ultimate.
Oh, okay then.
Wait,
And
you say Breath of Light?
something. Yeah,
Or
I said Breath of Light.
I thought it's something breath, whatever
Yeah, I
it is.
think it's Breath, but I'm not sure if I'm
So
honest.
like something breath. But does the does like the in-game tick rate go into effect for the counter for the Wave of Terror? Or is it the tick rate of the spell in itself, or is it just every single time you use Q? I would be curious as to how that kind of plays out altogether.
So I feel the fair way would be if it's how many times, like the seconds per use of Q. So if you
Okay.
use Q more than 5 seconds, it counts like 3 times using a spell because of how the Q works. It's how I would think it's the fairer way to try and stack it. But I think it's each time you press Q.
Okay. I'm like
By the way, it is
it's
Breath of Light.
Breath of Light. Okay, my
Of
bad, my
Light,
bad.
yeah.
I thought you said Breath of Life, and I'm like, well, no, that's Melio. But yeah,
Now,
low.
now it's going to be harder because there's Breath of Life and Breath of
Oh,
Light. So
all
let's
right.
go.
No, he's vomiting stars. That's what we're gonna be rolling with. That's now the new official league term. But with all of that put aside, obviously we're going to be having Kasten and Acel in the mid lane. They really want to scale into this. Kasten having that extra R, but Acel being able to have the max percentage magic damage. What do you think is really going to be just kind of having the advantage in this mid lane?
The thing is, Cassidy is picked to be able to counter mages like Aurelion Soul. But I think Aurelion benefits a bit more or is a bit better against Cassidy compared to any other mage because it's not really just the laning phase that you have to think about, but also the fact that his E grows with time.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like if the more you leave it there, it stacks. Like the more you get stacks, the bigger your E becomes. And for Kassadin, that depends on being able to reach targets. That can really mess up how you move because it's not only going to be the damage that it comes from the ability, the fact that it covers a huge portion of the river or certain parts of the map, and it's also going to be the fact that it's going to slow you down. So you would have to expend an R stack to be able to reach past that, and then go even farther to try and get to the back line. I think Aurelion is one of the better champions or mages at least to go against the Kassadin, and I think it's going to be quite difficult for the Kassadin to try and do a lot against the Aurelion. You can still assassinate him. Don't get me wrong. Like if you get on top of the Aurelion, you can kill him really effectively. But I think Aurelion has the means better than almost any other mage to stop Kassadin from reaching him, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker.
I think another important thing to note here is Singularity has a very long cooldown in general. So
Yeah.
once you're able to throw that Singularity down, obviously you eat a good portion of the wave. You're not casting a bunch of spells to then just continuously have an uptime for Wave of Terror versus like Vigar, where then you kind of are cycling through more spells to be able to clear out the waves, or Annie or something of that nature. So Asol is going to be able to weather the storm. I think that Asol once caught out by like if caught out by Caston, able to just use the Rift or like one proc of Rift Walker just to hop past the Singularity. You're right next to him. Asol can't glide away. Like you start to glide, instantly
It's beautiful.
silenced. No,
I know it's
you silence
beautiful.
it and then cuts it out. So it's like I think Asol, obviously, if Belveth is there and you get the knock up with it, that could be a death sentence.
It's a death sentence, but the issue is reaching him. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker. The fact
Yeah,
that you need to get close to him. That's something we talked about in the previous draft as well, by the way. The fact that you don't want to play a lot of melee champions when you're going against Aurelion Sol. Because he
correct.
just creates so much space between you and them that it's impossible to reach him. I think it's going to be really difficult for them to kill the Aurelion. It's still plausible, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying he's immortal and he's going to survive easily against anything. But I feel like that E is going to create so much of a problem that if you commit a bit too much to go over it, then the rest of the team can just close out on you and kill you. Like Sejuani presses R and kills us and CCs you to death. Or Sion presses R and then knocks you up, and that's not cleansable by Milio.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But in this jungle, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Sejuani and Belveth stack up against each other because Sejuani obviously very good for ganking and stuff. But if you ever get into some of these more skirmishy fights, Belveth is going to absolutely reign supreme, and
Yep.
Sejuani is unable to really just she's able to kind of first tank that because most likely aftershock on Sejuani, but after you kind of do that initial burst of damage with your rotation of spells, Belveth is going to 100% win that long fight.
And not only at the start, at the finish as well. Like she's going to get percentage damage items, and that's going to be even easier for her to go over you.
Yeah. But, well, we ponder all of this with this one final question. Who do you think has the advantage here, Dab or SGU?
Well, my bias is going to go for Dab just because they do have the Aurelion Soul, but I feel like the compositions are not necessarily that different between themselves. I just think Stun has something a bit more coherent with what they want to play with. Like I
Sorry,
feel there's a couple of
Dab
oh,
doesn't have ASOL.
yeah, they don't. But thinking about it, like Dav has a big issue that I worry about, and it's going to be the fact that you don't have like good stepping stones to reach a certain points of the game. That's typically what you want to try and achieve if you have super late game champions. But they don't really have that sort of like stepping stone until certain parts of the game. Meanwhile, you do have a Jin Karma that can spike early to mid, and then you have the Aurelion that spikes later. That's kind of my main thing.
Gotcha. Well, as we ponder that, we are going to be right back after this short break.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
Hello, everyone. We are back with this game 2. This is going to be Dab on the blue side versus SGU on the red side. I think we're going to see our standard 5-point again, except we're going to be having John and Kyrus in the bot side together in that tribe rush. But they're going to be trying to push up on the top side, just get a little bit of extra vision, but I don't think that we're going to be seeing any early excitement. But we're going to be having Gustwalker on the Belveth and Moss Stomper on Rolexus, which I'm not surprised to be seeing that whatsoever. But any interesting keystones and summoners that you want to make a note of?
Already victory for Aurelion Soul. 2 Stardust stacks. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining
Game
us today.
silver.
That is a GG here in the chat.
It was all part of plan. They wanted to get it so that they could end super early. But I'm surprised we didn't see a bit of an early move, especially with how everyone was moving. But it's also true that this is the second game and last potential game for the side of Dap. So they probably don't want to risk anything just yet. Oh, this is a good play.
Uh-oh, that's going to be Shade in trouble. They're going to be putting in a fair bunch of damage. John trying to get there. That's going to be forcing a flash out of Shade, double flash, but that is going to be
Ooh.
getting a pickup. That's going to be first blood going over to him. That's going
And
to be
that's why
both
if
suns
you're
coming
going
out
to
of both
flash,
ADCs.
you flash at the start of that, not at the end. There's no
Yeah.
shot for you to escape.
Yeah, that's just going to be a bit massive error coming into this. And also, Wallace cannot look for a potential invade of just like wraps into invading a camp with that ward. So I think that's really good ward timing and buy in the mid lane.
Exactly. And the tipping point now in the bot lane, having that first blood in favor of the Lucian and the Emilio, means that now Jin essentially will have to play backfoot for not only the laning phase, but at least until 10 minutes. There's a really good opportunity for them to just force onto you and kill you really effectively now. And really, really, really good play coming in from the bot lane of that. A nice turnaround compared to the previous game where they were the ones on the back foot to start of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now in the top lane, you kind of mentioned Syed being very good in this last one, and how I was talking about if you have Gragas in that top lane, you're able to just hide behind the minion, start up your Q, and we're already seeing Thorn do that in some of these opportunities here, just making it very awkward for Gragas to be up there. Obviously, Gragas will still be fine, able to sustain through it, but it's unable to really disrupt a lot of the Scion charge ups.
It's just a wet noodle fight. They are doing everything they can on the side and trying to make it as useful as possible. Oh,
Ooh,
nice kill.
that could be
That wasn't good enough.
Shade putting in the damage. That's gonna be force shot coming through.
Oh,
Has no flash, obviously. Was gonna get sped up, unable to
oh,
get that grab. But gonna get that with the W from Jin. Nice grab. Good redemption. The deadly flourish just really coming in.
100%. And that's a great, once again, turning point after a really bad first blood coming through onto the Jin. They're able to not only turn it around, but now the Jin is pushing this huge wave onto them. They have the Sejuani as well coming down onto the bot side, and there's no flash. They can actually force a dive if they really, really want to.
Oh, okay. Dawn
It's not looking like
is
that.
gonna be taking a fair chunk of damage. Yeah, having to dash away, gonna get the knockup. Will be most likely forcing out the TP because Thorn could just dump all of the mana into the top wave. They were forced to also use their TP, so
It's going to be TP for TP essentially.
yeah. So okay, what are your thoughts on Asol going Comet? I've seen a lot of success in the Korean bracket with going Unsealed Spellbook. Do you feel that Arcane Comet's much better?
I I've begun liking King Comet a bit more than the other runes because it allows you to trade a bit more effectively. Almost every time you have Yuri, essentially you can trade with it really easily. That being said, I think
Okay.
Unsealed does give you the variety of having access to all the summoners, and Aurelion is. Oh wait,
Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of stuff coming through. Can they get the stun? That's gonna be a flash coming out of
yep.
Rolexis, but Dawn gonna get stunned. The frostbite coming through. That's gonna be slow coming in from the E, dashing away. Rolexis's Q gonna be up here shortly. I think this could be spilling. Death for Dawn. Yeah, that Astral Glide coming over from Bai, helping their teammates out, getting that pickup.
They should have given the kill to Aurelion though, but don't you love to see the dragon just flying by? And that already setting up once again for the kill. Like the play coming in from the Sejuani, and it's also after the Gragas use the teleport to come back to top lane. That means that now the advantage for the Gragas can be quite nice for them. Ooh, sportive. Still has flash though.
Wally in trouble. That's going to be heal coming out from him. That's going to be the
Should
root.
be
Going to be
fine.
stopping Wallace in their tracks. But now this could be setting up for a potential dragon look. You got bot lane shoving in.
They are rotating quite heavily here, and they have the Aurelion plus the Sejuani. Are they forcing this? Oh,
Ooh. Okay,
oh,
that's
that
a bit
means.
adventurous. That's a bit adventurous. Coming in with the at the falling star.
But I don't think now they can actually go for the dragon if they want to. They don't
Correct.
have the falling star from the Aurelion. Kassadin hits level 6, so maybe they feel a bit more comfortable forcing it. And also, the mana for Aurelion is not the best thing as of now. But Brebleth is running away, so I think this opens up the opportunity now to actually go for the dragon.
So with all of this in mind, do you are you just fine with giving up dragon here, or do you just want to posture around it just to try to slow it down and go for a rift? Wow. Okay. Wow. They're actually just getting it.
Well, they had
It's good.
the space to go for it, so I don't see why not. The only issue is that if Velvet and the Khazad want to go
They're
for it,
getting
they
collapsed
can
on
stop it.
so hard
Yep,
right now. Yeah, Sejuani just takes forever to take this.
and she
This
has no
is just
flash.
this is Rolex's
Yep.
died. Yeah, that was so greedy. He had like not little to no vision. Oh, getting absolutely punished for that option. Shade could be potentially in trouble. John gonna be putting down the damage. Obviously no Lucian ult, but he still has exhaust up.
I will play devil's advocate and said I don't think the play is bad if and only if your Aurelion is still pushing mid lane. But since Aurelion backed, and he didn't teleport back, by the way, to the lane, or actually he was forced to, but he was teleporting way too late, then that play is never working, like you pointed out. The Sejuani is taking forever before she actually is able to accomplish the dragon, and then bot lane was getting pushed. They are really behind in terms of experience as well. So they just yet are reaching level 6. Meanwhile, the Lucian was level 6 at that play. It just was a prelude for that. Oh,
Be
Youngie.
flashes coming out of both bot laners, but that's going to be a root under the tower. Going to be putting in a
Oh,
lot
it's
of work.
enough.
That's going to be fourth shot from Shade, getting the pickup now. It's going to be an BQR's.
He's too He's too
Unable to
fast.
find that final closure, but now going to get the root off. Gonna get
Belbev
the
is
mega fire
coming in
kick.
Aurelion
But
too.
Wola is coming in from the sidelines here.
Oh, they can actually win this.
Chunky.
I think Aurelion coming through could have won that with the Falling Star, but decides that it's not worth his time going back to mid lane. And at the end, it's just a one for nothing. Really well played over by the bot lane from the side of Stun. They are able to punish the greediness from the Lucian, and that turns into not a shutdown, but a nice way to counter a lot of the lead that the Lucian was obtaining over the Jhin.
Yeah, in that earlier play, if you had like another melee, like if your support was melee, or you had like a different jungler that wasn't Sejuani, I think you could look for that potential drag play. But I'm like, Sejuani's just really slow on it.
Sejuani is a great jungler for setting
Yeah,
up plays, not necessarily for forcing objectives like that, because you're not going to take it as soon as possible. Ooh, wait, mid lane?
ooh. That's going to be Glacial Prison coming out. Wolas could be in trouble here. Has Dawn on the sideline. That's going to be a curtain call coming through. Unstoppable Force could be forcing dash out of Dawn. Dawn's getting slowed. That's going to
They
be
really want
explosive
this.
cast going to be coming through. Rolex trying to get the final proc, unable to find the Frostbite, but now they're going to be able to just rotate this into a free Rift Herald. They are quite low on the side of Dab.
I'm not sure if they can, but Kassadin did back, and he has no teleport. So they do have a
the
small
bot
window, but
laners.
they use too many ultimates here.
Ooh, Wally gets the
Lucian gets one.
He's getting knocked down. That's gonna be Frostbite coming through, John.
Yeah, they get it.
John, I'm sorry, you can't. That's a little bit. Oh well, as you're going down as well. Shade just on a killing spree. Dawn's in
Dawn.
trouble.
Okay, he's
Gonna
fine.
be getting the dash
I
up the
think.
wall. This ghost is still
Is he?
active. Can Jin find this? That's gonna be a flash coming out from
Ooh.
Dawn.
So they are not going to lose Dawn at least, but it's going to be Rift Herald and 2 more kills on their side. The punishments that Stun has been able to pull off so far have been quite good, even though they haven't had the best of starts to the game or to certain fights. They've been able to turn around a lot of the situations in their favor, and that is a huge merit to their decision making in some of these plays.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their decisions has now, like, obviously for that dragon one, a little bit worrisome, obviously, in general. So they were able to take one of the 2 early game objectives, and they're going to be getting more money from it. But I think these kills are really is what is making up the difference between gold. It is fairly close across
100%.
the board. Maybe a little bit of a few CS differences in some of the lanes, but Jin,
Guess who's
although,
dying?
uh-oh.
Or does he die? Do you think he
I think
dies?
Thorn's looking for an angle to get the unstoppable onslaught, but
But
I
he
think
doesn't
Wall is
have
just
it
going to
yet.
be continuously dashed in front. Yeah, you're just dead. Does he just full go for the ultimate? Okay, that's going to be a purple stack getting picked up by Wallace, or sorry, lavender stack.
Yeah, I'm not against the idea of trying to go for that, but he didn't even have the ultimate to start it up, so it's not like he can actually pull it off.
Well, it was ticking down. It's like he could have maybe looked for like a flash
It
ult.
was like
Like,
5 seconds. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe it goes, but I don't even think it's worth. Like it's a Saiyan.
Yeah, no.
It's the champion that you're the most fine about dying.
Karthus?
No, because Carthus has to farm. Sion really doesn't care. Like even if he
Oh,
dies,
okay. You mean in that
he
sense?
just
Gotcha,
comes
gotcha.
back and is perfectly fine with that. I mean, like
Yeah, yeah.
in terms of effectiveness for dying, like Sion doesn't care if he dies or not. He's always going to be the same champion because of how he works. Carthus needs to farm, so I think
The
that's the
Baus?
main big
The Baus? Is
difference.
that you? Is that
I
the
cannot.
Baus in our very stream? Thank you.
I wish I was half as skilled as the boss.
Hey,
A
you
bit less
are.
toxic,
You
but
are. It's
half as
all
skilled.
attitude mind. It's all in your head. You are if you believe you are.
Challenger mentality, Iron
Yes.
Hands.
Yeah, yeah. Challenger mentality, challenged gameplay.
Ooh,
Right now, we're
well,
going to
that
be
was
setting
worse.
up for this Cloud Drake, but Wally's just going to be trying to get some of this poke up. But Unstoppable Force
Oh,
coming in from downtown. Thorn going to be getting the knockup. Wall is potentially in some
the
trouble.
star.
Massive Sky Descents coming
Ooh.
through, getting some damage. That first kill going over to Buy, getting that pickup.
Oh, they
Rolexus is quite low,
cannot
but
get the
going to
kill.
be able to
Wait.
survive Stars Fall.
Oh
Getting picked up by Shave
no.
Knight on a rampage. John in trouble. Boom. Buy getting all of these Stardust stacks.
Oh, he
Oh,
flashed.
Kuras able to get the flash away. No one
And
died. Almost a full ace, but Emilio being able to survive by just the nick of a health.
that was such a good fight by the side of Stun. And huge props to Thorn for the angle that he came through. But I was going to say, that fight could have been one of the best potential fights, at least at this point in the game, for the side of that. Look at the item differences. Kassadin had completed the Rod of Ages. Aurelian was still just on components. The Sion didn't have any item. Then the Lucian had a bit more damage on their side, and then Belvet also had late of ranking. This could have been a perfect opportunity for them to make the most out of their small advantages, but advantages nonetheless. And they couldn't get the teamfight win. Now Aurelian is going to come back with the rod, but also extra items. Like his damage is now going to spike even harder, and you weren't able to really get a lot done in that fight. It's just a really bad situation to be in because that was one of the better opportunities, at least in these early stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you also just to think about it, you had first blood on John, so obviously
Yeah.
a fantastic start has consistently had a farm lead over Jin, but Jin was able to find that early pickup against the Milio, and then has just kind of really turned it around since that like that early level kind of blunder is now just on that rampage 4-1-4. Well, John is still riding the coattails that only kill of the game, but explosive cast coming through.
Ooh,
Walla is
Wally,
trying to go for a grab onto Wally, but now Thorn gonna be
it's
taking a lot
fine.
of this damage. Glacial Prison coming in from downtown. Dawn's getting knocked up into oblivion, trying to flash
Oh,
away.
he
Gonna
gets
get away,
hit.
unable to. Wally's gonna get that pickup. Wallace is gonna be surviving.
Are you a fan of the bloodthirsty supports, Verdant? Because that's what Wally
Yes,
is looking
yes.
for. He may not have the most kills, but he is 1-1-8. Almost 100% participation in kills. He's just missing one.
Yeah, quick maths, that makes it 90%. I got you. For all the people at home,
We never make maths on cast just because I don't want to look dumb.
well, a lot of my stuff is
Oh,
based on
John,
percentages. Uh-oh. There goes the Ace Soul. Your precious Ace Soul gone, obliterated.
he
Eaten by the
had the
Empress
right
of the
mindset,
Void.
but he was way too aggressive. I gotta say,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
way too greedy for a nerdy gameplay like that.
It's more fun just to make fun of you because you've been simping for him.
Hey, I'm fine. Like I don't get me wrong. Like I love the champion, but I'm going to dunk on you if you mess up.
Oh yeah. We're
Like
toxic like that. We're
it's tough
totally
love.
for you
No,
and
it's
totally
tough
against
love.
you all in the same breath.
We like you. That's why we're harsh on you. Okay.
Yes. It's called tough love, kids.
It's typical toxic. A bit of a toxic mentality there. Although I
Oh
still
yeah,
think that it's fine. Just one
yeah.
degree. That being said, the game still goes on, and they are forcing now the Herald because of the play after the Aurelion Soul. This Herald obviously not going to be the most valuable, although it's actually getting contested. It could be a fight.
That could be a fight. I think this is a fight, and this is going to be Shade just going to be popping that ghost early. Going to be running around, dashing about. There's going to be unstoppable
Oh,
onslaught coming through. Going to get the
man.
double knock up. Rolly trying to get some of these frostbite stacks coming through. Will they get anything? Wallace able to pick up
Jin is
Shade.
dead.
That's massive shutdown going over to Caston. Rolly trying to get out, unable to. John getting that pickup. That's going to be purple stacks coming through. A lot of these resets. Are they able to get a pickup yet? Stars still surviving, quite healthy. Asol trying to put down the damage. Unable to
He's
find
willing to
any
be able to
pickups
lay
quite
down
yet.
that.
Singularity use. Going to be walling off the Caston, and Caston's away from his team. He's going to be using the Riftwalker over the wall, but at a very low health.
Dawn came back.
Dawn coming in from that side angle, quite strong. This is a slaughter.
And immediately, just like that, a fight turns into such a good angle for the side of Dab. And you have to question the decision making now from Stun. The fight is not a bad idea, but you know where Gragas is coming, and they never respected Don in that play. Don did whatever the hell he wanted with that fight. He was able to laugh at them in their face and push the Jin onto the backline. Really well played by the Gragas. And after he actually did everything he wanted to, he came back onto the play and forced it once again in his favor. Really good fight, really well played. And also, just as a quick thing, they took advantage of the star not being available for the Aurelion Soul. That huge team fight ultimate not being a part of the fight does make a difference. And Dab now gets the Herald. I'm not sure how much value is actually going to be turned after this Herald because it's just the second Herald of the game, so no plates are going to be obtained. But it's still one that can at least force a bit of a macro play on your favor. Dragon spawning
Yeah.
though.
I was gonna say you could try to cram it in the mid lane and then make a rotation for this dragon, but that's gonna be SGU gonna be on this dragon immediately. Millie try to throw in a little bit of poke, but it's not gonna be doing much yet. Dawn gonna be trying to come in from downtown, gonna be trying to look for some
Cassidy's
dashes.
on
Thorn
side.
is just absorbing a lot of this pressure. That's gonna be
Thorn.
Belveth in the pit. She's coming after your team. Watch out. Empress of the Void's just gonna be trying to go after this dragon. Will they be able to get the pickup fast enough?
Cassidy jumps
use the
in.
pit.
Oh, guess who's dead?
That's going to be going over to the Asol, getting that massive steal, and oh my gosh, there's just too much excitement going on here. That's going to be Belvath, going to get some purple
Oh,
stacks
Belvath
coming up.
is
Doesn't
dead, though.
matter. Wally getting the kill. John trying to get away from the corpse is going to be getting away.
John is
Curtain
dead.
call. No, get over here. And now Dawn, can they survive?
Oh,
Is
Dawn.
able to get away. Astroglide coming through. Doesn't matter. Dawn's going to be the only survivor that's going to be and helping him out here. But now it's going to be the first Ocean Soul of the game, but this is going to probably spell some fallen towers.
That is going to be at least the bot lane turret 100%, and then a bit of a push in the mid lane as well. But what a big fight by Stun, and what a huge amount of healing they are able to get onto the Sion. Sion should have died so early on in that fight, but the healing from the Sejuani, from the Radiant Virtue from the Sejuani, as well as the shields from the Karma, keeping him just alive enough that they can at least turn around the fight. Then Aurelion doing a massive job as well with the damage. Jin, not being the main target, was able to get a lot of damage down as well. And this fight, really crucial. They secure the dragon, so now they get extra healing on their favor, but they also are getting more and more towards that spot where you want to be as the Aurelion Soul and as the Jin.
So right now, yeah, and like you have a little bit of a advantage gold wise across the board. Do you want to potentially just send Thorn in the side lane just try to start taking some of these towers and start just going for a 1-4 split, or do you just still want a team fight?
Well, you could go for it. I don't see why not, but I feel like you having Thorn ready to force a fight probably works in the interests of Stunned a bit more, because he's going to be the one that will dissuade a lot of the potential engages, but also the one that will absorb a huge amount of damage. Like you could see it in the previous fight. Wait, done.
Oh, that's going to be Dash already coming out from Dawn earlier on. Wally's in trouble. And Dawn's in trouble. Yeah, Thorn's going to be getting that pickup here in the top side.
Talk about a CC chain. He was stunned for like 3 seconds at least. And I think they get this top lane turret really easily with just the Sion and this. Oh, wait.
Walla is just going to be putting in the work, getting a lot of damage off so far. Nothing further
Oh,
coming from
no,
this.
Emilio.
Yeah, Emilio, I'm sorry. You can't be looking for that. That's going to be Glacial Prison used. Walla is going to be
Ooh.
able to dash away from it. For now,
Oh, doesn't get it.
Closure unable to
Late.
get the pickup. Now the curtain call. That's going to be some blocks from John. Going to be able to save his jungler. But this could be a very much a free Baron unless this goes sideways.
Kazan still has teleport. So I can understand if they don't want to force it just yet, especially with everyone alive, but they are actually going to commit. They don't care. Wait, Lucian is backing. I don't. Okay, no, he stopped it. Yeah. I think this is such an obvious call that they are
They
going
aren't
for.
killing this very fast. This is going to start ripping away a lot of their resistances. This is going to potentially land them in some hot water. You
And
have
Aurelion is
Dawn.
not even here.
Dawn and John's
just
there.
yet, at least.
Wallace. Thorn has low mana, and that's
Lucian
going to
is
be
dead.
Shade going
Shade is
down
dead, I mean.
immediately. It's going to be a Descent of the Skies coming through. Wallace is just getting a lot of these resets. Is still alive, still going through. And
Aurelion is dead.
down
What was their
themselves.
plan?
This is a disaster. Dab is just getting all these kills left, right, and center. And that's just going to be a free Baron handed over to the waiting arms of a Dab.
I can confidently say that WTF is not enough to explain what happened there. There was like absolutely no reason, absolutely no logic, absolutely no way they were able to secure it before the play was going to come through. And this could be really the big throw that gives the game away for the side of that. They have now the advantage in terms of gold. They have the pushing power. They have a Kassadin that's slowly but surely one level away from level 16. And he's been able to put so much pressure on the side lane. Look at the level difference, by the way. Aurelion is level 12. Kassadin is level 15. And they are close to the same experience farm. It's just that he's been absorbing more solo experience. And Aurelion hasn't been able to find the same success.
I think that if you want to go for that Baron, the only way that you
bye.
can... Ooh. Okay, the
Yeah,
only way that you can reasonably get that is if Bai TP's there and starts putting
you can only do with
max
Aurelion.
percentage damage.
I agree. Aurelion has to be there if you want to force it, and clearly he wasn't there. They took way too long to force a teleport there.
Oh. You're going to be looking for a spicy pickup here, but this could potentially... Oh, no. Oh, they do get the cast in. Shade in trouble right now. Going to be on the back line. That's going to be massive. Aesol coming through. Are they able to get a pickup? I think they are surviving. Shade of Night still picked up. Wallace just going to be ripping through them.
Game 3.
Yeah, this is game 3. Yeah.
This is just going to be game 3. That was one of the better opportunities for them, and they got completely destroyed. They can just rush. They have Baron buff.
It kind of was. It's been looking a little bit rough for John for most of the set, but really just finding a way to come back into this game consistently.
Well, a lot of that, like that Baron throw, it really is. Has to be the main game difference from now. Like if they don't give up that Baron the way they did, they probably can still play the game really easily. But Baron just over buffed them, and then they lost a lot of gold as well with all the kills that they gave up. And game 3.
All right, game 3. So going into this, Wallace is absolutely a carry. Like you can't like make a good enough argument like against that. Played the Karthus, played it very well. I'm fairly certain had most damage in game. Just had a lot of impact across the board. Had the 6 items, and then for this one as Belvath, only had the 2 items there, but still just had a lot of impact in these fights. Just took and dodged out of a lot of skill shots across the board. Able to just take a lot of pressure off the team and allow Stars to just kind of do the split push. Dawn also doing a great job on the top side.
Exactly. It felt like as soon as they got the consistent parts out, they were able to play it off really, really well. Like you're pointing out, the Zolz is one of the main carries, if not the main carry of the team. It feels like he's more important to them being able to get a win in the game than John. I think that they have to play around their jungler and try and give them as much advantage as possible if they can.
All right. Well, I am gonna set up for. I'm gonna set up production wise the draft for Game 3. We're just gonna be back after a very short break, but we are gonna be coming in with the thrilling conclusion of this best of three. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly. Hello, everyone. We are back with the draft for Game 3. We're going to be having Dab on the blue side and SGU back on the red. We are
And
getting rid
they're
of,
going for the same band pretty much, although Belbet and Emilio.
I was going to say, we still don't want that Emilio. We did now allow the Udyr to be on the table for SGU. But Burgundy going to be sticking with the same bands, but they're going to be the ones to first pick Jin, not wanting to deal with Shade of Night on that. It's been an absolute nightmare for them.
Well, 2 games in a row did a really good job, although I'm kind of sure the second game probably didn't want to play like it went. But for
Yeah,
two
no.
games, makes sense that you want to try and steal away one of the good champions from Stun. Now, for the first time, we're seeing Shade on a new AD carry. What will he opt into? Senna? Oh, Senna.
Sinistera.
Okay.
Okay.
They are not winning lane at all, but if they get to 30 minutes, that is going to be such an insufferable duo.
They could win lane. They like it depends. It depends on how it all plays out because Senna is very, very potent in lane. In some of those early levels, if you really push the advantage, but against Swain, that's going to be quite tough. But Udyr,
Is it a
now that
Swain
you
support?
let the door open, Udyr is going to get picked up.
Exactly. The Udyr is open now, but is it a Swain support? I feel like isn't Swain support after some of the changes much worse than just playing Swain normally.
It is. Yeah, it is. But against those two, I think it's going to be perfectly fine. It's going to be able to kind of
Okay.
take the abuse and also get some of the healing off with the crow stacks. Obviously, you can also still flex the Swain, so it necessarily does not have to go in the support role. It can still go mid and or top. Top is less seen these days, but can still be seen in those options. But Greg is going to be sniped away. I think taking that out of Dawn's hands is pretty good here. We could be seeing Gragas played in the sport in mid jungle or top. So Greg is going to be quite flexible.
Exactly. You have a lot of opportunities to move around champions here and there. And the fact from the previous game is certainly taking a hit onto Stunt. They have banned now 3 out of the 5 champions from the previous game with the Kassadin being added onto the mix. I don't think Aurelion will be picked this particular game, just because I do think that there's already way too much magical damage. So adding on top of
Yeah.
that, it could be a bit risky. But you're never too sure about it. I wanted to say though, Gragas so far 100% win rate, 100% big rate, 100% win rate. 2 games have been doing and has been doing an amazing job in both games. So surprised that DAP ended up just giving it up just like that. And hopefully they have a good answer for it. Doesn't matter where it goes, it's going to still be able to deliver quite well. It's going to be the Jack spin at the end.
So, important thing to note is our sample size of 2 suggests that the team with Gragas will win. So SGU is cleaning
Exactly.
up this. No,
Game 3 victory for the Gragas.
yeah, always the team with Gragas always stays winning. It doesn't matter what. Like you may see a defeat screen, but it doesn't matter. We had Gragas all along. Doesn't matter that my Yasuo's 0-10.
Speaking of Yasuo, I think this could be a Yasuo game.
I think this very much could be. I think you might want to with Malphite out of the mix or out of the mix.
Okay.
Okay. Corky's gonna get picked up. Obviously, with the explosive cask, that could be quite strong for the follow up, but I don't think we are going to be seeing that.
Stunned going for quite a late sort of composition. A lot of these champions want to go past the 25-minute mark, want to try and get towards that second to third item mark. So going to be interesting seeing how they play, because I feel like the 2 previous comps have been a bit more focused towards the early stages. Going to be
Ooh.
fun how they try to respond to it. Action as well for that. They played really well with it in the first game. Obviously, it had a couple of hiccups here and there, but I think the champion was really useful. And obviously, in team fights, when you were able to get a kill, it actually just meant that the fight was not actually won because some of the champions came back in a really effective manner.
Absolutely. I think in a lot of these games so far,
Okay.
we've been seeing Dab have a lot more late game option. Where I think SGU is kind of taking some of the cake for these late game threats, but Renekton give me the final pickup. Ever fierce. So Dawn, I think Dawn and Thorn have been kind of going tit for tat in the top lane, but I think that Dawn has kind of had I feel like it's like a 52-48 split on like Dawn like winning these matchups. Where like I think just takes a lot of these small, short increments and slowly working out a lead. But Olaf is going to be the final pickup of the game. So you
It's
don't.
going to be.
I think it's going to be
But
interesting to see where the Olaf and Gragas really end up. But I
I think
think
it's all
that
up
we are.
top. I would be
You
willing
can
to
make
bet it's all up top.
you can make arguments for both top.
Yeah, I think you can make for both, but I feel like as of now, it feels like people prefer to play a top lane than in jungle.
Yeah.
Even though I do think that there's arguments for Olaf jungle as well. I think Olaf right now is played much more in the top lane than in the jungle, and I think it's probably better to leave it in the top lane because you really want to have and try and get a couple of levels or a good amount of levels onto the Olaf. Like Ragnarok can make a big difference, especially later on in the game with something like the Seraphine or the Senna. So you want to try and have this Olaf be as fed as possible, as high level as possible, and that's going to be pretty easy to obtain if you're in the top lane.
Yeah. I one interesting point I want to make about Olaf though, like jungle wise, is Olaf like if you get in any skirmishes with Olaf versus Udyr, Olaf beats the Udyr and can chase down the Udyr. With like the continual usage of the axes is just too much of a slow. You usually go approach velocity on Olaf, so Olaf will be able to run Udyr down, and that could put Wolas in kind of some hot water there. If you obviously are going to be going for that option, but otherwise with Gragas is able to just kind of freely get away. You're able to dash over you dash over a wall, get away from Udyr. So there's not going to be too much threat of the junglers back and forth against each other. But I think with Olaf, with Udyr not being able to dash over walls could be very susceptible.
Yeah, I would think the main, like you're pointing out, the main question here is: do you want to fight Udyr, or do you think you're going to fight Udyr? If you think you're going to fight Udyr and you can fight Udyr, then Olaf certainly makes much more sense. But I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to see any fights with the junglers unless it's involving multiple people. And if it's involving multiple people, then it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter if it's jungle or top lane. I think that's kind of the part where it really makes difference for where Olaf is going. Also in draft in Klein, we're seeing that Olaf right now is in the top lane, so we'll still
Yep.
have time before it actually gets defined. But I would be willing to incline that it's going towards the top lane.
Yeah. My also argument for Greg is being top lane. When Renekton dashes in at you, you just press W on Gragas, and then you take a
Yep.
reduced amount of damage. You get the healing to go off, and you're able to just kind of beat out the Renekton trade that comes in with like the dash and improve W Q double dash. Like you're able to just beat out the entire combo you're able to reduce a lot of the damage from the Renekton combo with Gragas, and just continues to heal your way through it.
You out heal him, you outperform him in the healing.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of difficult to not do it, especially like looking at the team comp by the way of a stunt. There's so much healing instances
Yeah.
in that team that it's going to be difficult to be able to go over them. Like they need to have heal cut on at least. I would say the Swain having the heal cut would be nice because he can proc it with his ultimate, and also the Udyr having it wouldn't be bad.
But right now, I just out of curiosity, what? Because like Dab in a lot of these games so far has been very, very dependent on engage, and just like having that. Like in game 2, obviously they had kind of the Gragas to be on the front line with the follow up of Wallace to just be able to get some of that knock-up. And then game 1, you had the Malphite, Gragas, and Yone. So like you've just had a lot of these super, super engage options. Who's your engage here? Renekton? Just run the Udyr around? Like
Udyr running through.
where it's just like that. I think that's not really definitive in the sense of Seraphine, Gragas is able to knock some of these people away. If they just try to run into it, Olaf then just starts throwing axes, reduces the armor, and then just kind of Udyr gets just absolutely beat up in the meat grinder there. So I think they're going to be having a little bit of trouble for some of these angles. So I think they might be wanting for the side of Dab to look for more for potentially like a 1-3-1 split. Obviously, we're going to see how that all goes at the end of the day. But this bot lane, I think, is quite interesting. Seraphine Senna, I think, has been one of those sleeper ones, which has always been fairly efficient and effective at different points in time. But do you think that they are going to kind of thrive or suffer in the bot lane?
I think they're going to be like they're a perfect example of a bot lane that can be perfectly fine being neutral. Like you don't need to do anything more than farm, don't die, heal, and consistently stack up towards your damage. Like they can lose a turret at 15, it doesn't matter. They are Senna serving. They can even lose it earlier. I still think it's not that bad because they are going to keep on scaling. It's more so losing gracefully that matters for them. And I think as long as they are able to achieve that, it should be fine for the rest of the map. Because I would love to see Gragas put attention to Corki and Olaf. Like never hover close to surfing or Sen at all. Would be how I put the game.
I think this is going to be quite important. But since I'm going to go run and grab water, I'm going to be pushing it over to commercial break. But before we get there, who do you think has the advantage, Dab or SGU?
I like more the compositions that have easier routes to pull up later on. So I'm going to say stunt because if that mess up once, I can see them completely fumbling with their comp.
All right. Well, we shall see how it all goes for this thrilling game 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Hello, everyone. We are back with this game 3. It's back to 0-0 at this point, and we are going to be having SGU on the red side and Dab on the red side. Any interesting summoners?
Triple teleport.
Sorry, interesting summoners or Keystone? Sorry, words are hard. I got stumbled up on that.
It's okay. There's triple teleport on the side of a stun. And then double ignite, not necessarily bad coming in from that, but I'm not sure if it's going to get a lot of value early on, maybe later on.
I think
Apart
it
from that, I
will.
think
I
everything
think I
common.
think it will find value in the sense of you brought up the point of they have a lot of just different heal procs all throughout, like all throughout this game. But Yeah, I think you might be right. On the earlier portions of this game, won't be as effective. It'll be me. Ooh, bye. Gonna get
Bye.
chunked out down to half health. Wow.
That's a good start.
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe even more. Okay, no.
So right now, I think we're
This
going to be seeing Shade of Night and Wally here potentially in trouble for when they walk into the lane. But Udyr did not start with a health pot whatsoever. So going to be getting that extra 50 gold spike for the lane.
getting that much bit of gold is always great. So obviously, going to try and make the most out of that
Ooh.
situation.
Ooh.
It was a close one.
Was it?
I believe
uh
it. I can. I want
I
to
think
believe it
that's
was.
quite copium. And where was that aimed?
I want to believe it was okay. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, so that one, just finding the ghost in the lane and just nailing him effectively. But Dawn gonna be winning on these early trades, getting Thorn down to half health. But obviously, with Thorn being on that lower HP percentage, we'll be getting greater auto attacks.
Ouch. Already forced a heal. Okay.
Yeah, I think Seraphine is the correct person to focus in that lane, because you're just going to be able to continuously heal up with Wally, being able to get the Flate stacks and the Q procs. So they are a poke lane, and they are shoving in under this tower, so it's going to be harder and harder for Shade to continuously pick up that farm and to... Ooh. Thorn in trouble.
Oh, another pushing. Wait, Dawn?
Yeah, I think Shade needs to dodge some of these abilities here, but that's going to be Wally trying to go for John. Unable to
Oh
find
no.
that pickup there. That's going to be Ghost coming through. John, yeah. That's a little bit too adventurous, and John's going to be getting that pickup there. And that's going to be a flash coming down from Curus, and that's going to be getting a pickup. Dawn using the slice and dice to get away. Has
Oh
Wallace here to
no,
help him.
Thorn.
Thorn's in trouble. Going to be going down.
You can
Are
go
they
for
going to
even
go
more,
for a roll?
yeah.
Are they going for a roll at Relexus? They are. That's going to be Stars Fall. Going to be starting to take some of this damage. That's going to be that's going to be kill for kill, but it's now 4-1. Now we have Thorn TPing back top. That's just going to be him going for wave, unable to find anything there. By in the mid lane, just still going to be shoving that in, but that's a lot of value.
Because I think Action greeting a bit there for the last auto attack to get the kill. If he just flashes out when immediately, probably doesn't die there. Still, it's a
Yeah.
4-for-1 to start of the game in terms of kills. Bottling going amazing for the side of that, and then on the top side they get everything that they wanted. A lot of this comes from the push on the lanes. We're talking about how the gold was going a bit more in favor of the side of Dap for how it started the game with their push, and they had push in mid lane, in bot lane, and in top lane. So they could run whatever the hell they wanted in those lanes because they could move around how they wanted to, where they wanted to.
Also, an important thing with how they shoved in that bot lane, Shade kind of stuck themselves in the armpit of the tower, where it
Yeah.
just limits options of where you can or cannot basically evade abilities from. Was obviously picked up by the Swain there, and obviously that just has now gone horrifically for their lane, and it is a 2k gold deficit across the board. But both of their laners each have a kill, so this is just going to get even harder and harder. Yeah, it's just still staying in this armpit here. And this is where you really hate to see your bot laner just be sticking around. And Shade's now down to 25% health.
Yeah, Shady is really not helping himself there with the way that he's positioning on the side of the turret. And really, you can just make it so that the Sten is the one getting hit, but the Seraphine is never going to be allowed to farm easily if she is still going like that. She's still able to at least keep up the CS deficit to a really close margin.
Ooh, what are you doing there,
I
Thorn?
think it's fine. I think it's fine. Wait.
I would say just wait for the stun, because it just wait for the particle effect to end, and then you're all good.
Could have been the difference maker there. But with level 6, maybe he goes for the kill here. He has flash.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yes, flash. Why not? It is free. Bam, easy.
See, it was all just part of the long game. He was waiting for the perfect timing, and that's it.
Yeah, no. Dawn played that well. Thorn, maybe not so much.
Well, he's the one that died, so
Yeah. But I'm saying like the trade prior, Thorn didn't need to walk up and just chunk the free Renekton stun. He could just let it wear off.
Oh, is Bai dying here again?
Ooh, that's gonna be a flash away from him. Gonna be able to get away from this comeuppance. He can just hide behind the tower.
Oh no!
He didn't hide behind the tower.
No, I think
Ooh,
he thought he was behind it, but the
yeah,
particle,
yeah.
like people need to understand that it's still a circular turret. There's an angle that it goes by. Like it has a structure. So technically, there's going to be a part that it's not going to block. And action hit around that. Corky thought it
Ooh,
was behind
that's a
it,
nice grab by John. Shade unable to get any good follow up onto
and
that.
he's fine.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
easy. That was an easy way
yeah.
to
I was gonna
escape, I
say him
guess.
already having these Swifty boots is just gonna be able to just freely get him out of anything that Shade could ever throw back onto him. So at this point, this bot lane's cooked. It for a good while into this bot lane's cooked. They aren't gonna be able to do much at this time.
Wait,
Unless,
actually,
unless we see some like super egregious errors, I think your best person to go for is Curus, but Curus once he has Demon Flare, that's gonna be a tough kill.
okay, quick thing by the way, Verdant. Apparently, like, yeah, I thought it was because of the way the structure works. Apparently, it's because the tier 1 is not dead. So the tier 2 doesn't technically have a health bar, and that's why it goes over. Which would make sense, I think. I didn't know that's how it worked, but it makes
Yeah.
sense, okay.
Gotcha.
The more you know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the people in chat for that.
Wait,
Yeah, I
Thorn?
completely forgot about that.
Blows the ultimate? That's a good trade.
Thank you, chat, for keeping us humble.
Yeah, there's always something to learn about the game. Like, we need to remember that it's 108, almost 180 champions. There's a lot of things, a lot of mechanics that you don't get the chance to see always.
Did you know that Sejuani's boar is named Bristle?
Yes, but not by choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say the in-game loading tips. It's just like Rakan likes chocolate, and it's like, why do we care?
Interesting information. Didn't ask for it, but thanks, I guess.
Wow, that's nice. Anyway, didn't care. Right now, there's going to be Vision of the Empire going to be getting some of these slows here. Wally trying to get some of the damage onto John. Walla is just going to be going for the dive. That's going to be... Ooh, a lot of damage coming through. Dawn's able to get that killing spree, getting that pickup. Yeah, this Olaf is not doing so hot here in the top lane. Star is trying to get out as much damage as possible, but will just be unable to pick him up with the comeuppance there, being able to hide behind his teammate and the tower, the minions.
I thought she could just out attack there and probably gets the kill. Still, he doesn't die, and they instead get the kill on the top lane. Huge props to how Wolves and Dawn play that out, because they weighed out the Ragnarok super well. They didn't allow for the Ragnarok to get enough time to actually be proc longer, and at the end it turns into a kill. Oh, Shade!
Shade's getting quite low. Are they able to get the pick up there? That's going to be Wally trying to put in some damage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Bai could be in trouble. Will he be going down? That's the flash coming forward. Star's getting that pickup. This is just starting to look like a potential stomp here. 8-1 score line.
That's such a good kill coming in the mid lane, and everything going Dab's favor. We haven't talked much about this, by the way, but it's a 5k gold lead at 10 minutes. That's how far ahead they are with this competition. They are doing such a good job, and they are still putting pressure onto the side of Sun Gaming.
Right, and for League in general, it is classified as a stomp if you are 500 gold or more per minute over the other team. So right now we are looking at a effective stomp, and this is just gonna be Dawn's not getting that pick up there, and just gonna be giving it over to Wallace just for that kill participation. And just going to be helping escalate the impact of Wallace into this game even more.
It's the best way to maximize the gold. Ooh, buy again? Maybe?
Oh, wow. That's going to be Bork just coming in strong. Shade of Night in trouble. That's going to be the ultimate coming in from Wally. Yeehaw. That's not going to be enough. Curtain call going to be coming out. Senna's in trouble. She flashed away. She's dodging, bobbing and weaving, unable to get the grab onto her. Nice plays, Wally. But Shade of Night not looking so great.
Yeah, Wally may be alive, but at what cost, really? They lost the Seraphine down there.
Some
Maybe
of
they
you
even lose
may
by
die.
here. Oh, it's okay.
Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm
Oh,
willing
John
to
is dead.
make.
Or is he
No,
actually?
that's gonna be a nice flash away from him. Gonna be able
Oh,
to get away
bye.
from this play.
He's
Wall's just
dead.
gonna be trying to dive under tower. Stars just gonna be getting the pickup now. Curious, could he get grabbed? That's gonna be a nice grab by Shade. Stopwatch coming through. Good root timer. Shade getting the getting that massive shut. Oh, not that massive. 150 gold. Never mind.
They got a
But
kill.
that's gonna
They
be
got
Shelly
gold.
coming in the mid lane, getting double plate.
Oh, Jin may be dead as well.
Ooh, gonna be stopping that. Nice. Shade's getting that pickup as well. All right, this is starting to look a little bit better. There's some light at the end of this tunnel. Before is kind of dark.
Well, certainly getting 2 kills is always better than getting nothing. And with the kills, they also will get a couple of plates. That being said, they lost a much bigger amount of plates in the mid lane, and they also got a kill into the Corki. So I think you have to take the right side out of it. Still not enough to cover up for the huge deficit, but it's something.
What that? This could be. Oh, Thorn could have actually maybe looked for something there. Could have chased him
I
down.
think it's just scared of the of not knowing where the Udyr is, and also the fact that ultimate wasn't used by Dawn. Like Dawn's
Yeah,
ultimate makes it he makes him dissuasively tanky.
yeah. Exactly.
I
It
should wait.
just, but
Oh, and now Ragnar is
is
down. He has to escape.
am I is this much better of just like not being able to do anything now? Ugh. I don't know. Thorn's just in a world of hurt. Really did not set themselves up well in this lane, but package gonna get
Oh
used early.
no!
Package just gonna be burning that down. They're unable to get that dragon. You hate to see it. Smite was up for Rolexus there.
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't just go for it. Now it's 2 dragons in favor of the side of Dab and maybe even a kill here. Oh yeah, they are getting a bit baited.
Ooh. Ultimate coming through. Curtain call. Shades, yeah.
Well, Graga is coming
Oof.
here. Maybe they get the counter kills.
Rolexus gonna be shoving them under tower. That's gonna be Wally getting quite low, but it's gonna be surviving. Curious going down as well. Rolexus finding these nice grabs here in the bot lane.
No, bye bye,
Oh,
Thorn.
Thorn. Oh, goodbye, Thorn,
He
you
tried.
sweet summer child. Goodbye, Thorn, you sweet summer child.
There was an attempt, but it's not enough of an attempt. 0 and 5
Yeah.
for Thorn, sadly. It's also going to be first turret blood for Dawn up here. Not going to be much answered. And even though they get a couple more good kills in the bot lane, it's also, even though it's a 2 for 1 in the bot lane with the kill. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Is it
no.
enough?
Wallace just doesn't care. Oh my god. Gonna be living
He
with a
actually
slither
doesn't.
for now.
Wait, no.
Will he? Yeah, he just healed too much off of those plants. Wally gonna be getting that pick up there. Rolly just gonna be barely surviving. Are they able to look for that Udyr with
Nah,
Wally?
he's fine.
Yeah, no. He's getting out for free. That was
He
getting
wasn't even
dicey
trying
there.
to bait. Oh,
Oh, just gonna be going for it. Thorn here, trying to make a statement. It might not matter. Ooh,
Souls,
Shade of
why are you
Night.
going back? He really doesn't care. Wait, he's alive.
Rolex getting quite low. That's gonna be given a kill over.
How is Souls still alive? Okay, thank
Oh,
God.
Dawn's on a rampage. That's massive shutdown going over to Thorn, being able to pick it up against Udyr. But that's gonna be 3 people going down on the side of stun. Wally's still alive. For now. For now, I should add. But that's going to be unstoppable. Dawn is just unstoppable. This killer crocodile is just doing too much work out here today.
It's just too strong of a crocodile. That's why he's supposed to be a god. He doesn't typically showcase that godly power, but he's supposed to be a god, right? And this game, it's actually showing.
Yeah, the Shuriman brothers just quite scary whenever they get snowballing.
If they actually get gold, they can actually do things amazing. They're not prehistoric monsters if they actually get gold.
I think you could say that for most champs across the board. They get gold. They're actually like they actually can do something. I think there's like few champs where it's just like, yeah, they don't even need gold. They're just crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
there's very few. You can say that. But I feel like for how lore depicts them, it's kind of funny that they are so dependent on the gold.
yeah,
Like they are depicted, like some champions are depicted like the most, the biggest destroyers in the galaxy, and then come game they barely do a thing.
yeah. Ooh, that's gonna
Okay,
be
he's fine.
yeah, that's gonna be Ragnarok just used to get out of this. But yeah, in some senses, you think about like Kindred lore wise is like the embodiment of entropy, and then just like if they get behind, they just
Oh,
get blown up instantly. Ooh, Star is kind of in trouble there on the top side, but
they
Walla
really
is
want.
getting quite low themselves, but is just gonna be able to dash out that blast cone, getting him away from that massive char, and the comeuppance coming through that's gonna be chunking her down to half. But now there's gonna be a lot of poking, a lot of tit for tat, but Dawn here on the sideline, they have to respect Dawn.
They are still trying to maybe force something, but in the meanwhile, John is simply taking down the bot lane turret, getting value even with what's happening over on the top side for Alexis.
Ooh. Relexa's getting quite low, but they're trying to get some damage into Wallace, but Wallace is just too fast, too furious, and will not be caught.
Yeah, not enough to be able to lock down this Udyr, and it also means that the net positive play is in favor of the side of that because they get more value unless they kill John here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I they could, but how this game is going right now, I am gonna severely doubt it.
And they are also going to secure the third dragon of the game, so soul point, quite easy to get. Well, we're close to 20 minutes, and technically I wasn't expecting the composition from Stunt to be able to accomplish a lot before 25.
Yeah.
Will they get to that point? Maybe. But at least so far they are not
Ugh.
there.
It, honestly, part of me feels like obviously I don't know. I'm not in their comms and all that kind of stuff. But I feel, like right now, I feel like SGU had a really dominant showing game one. Game two, they were going really dominant, and then they just kind of made that mistake around Baron. Now that it just feels like this game, they're super in their heads,
Oof.
and they just aren't playing so hot. Oh, right now they are getting Vicurus. Are they able to get the pickup? That's going to be a flash away from him. They spent a lot of stuff on that, but unable to get that pickup there, all at the cost of Swain Flash.
Well, a flash is better than nothing, I would say. So
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
take
yeah.
those positives, and if they don't die here, which it feels like I have to say every time because they are typically dying, then overall the play is not that bad of a field to try and give up. I
Yeah.
think they still have in their comp to be able to pull it off. They have a lot of damage. I really don't like Seraphim's build, by the way, because I think that you already have a lot of magical damage in other places. You don't need to have magical damage yourself. And especially with how little gold you've been getting, probably a support build would have benefited the team overall much more.
And for which item?
That she's opting into Leandry's and also has like the what's it called,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Oblivion Orb. I think that with how little gold you've been getting, probably a support build would have benefited the team much more in general.
Ooh, Dawn trying to go for the dash onto Thorn, unable to
Oh,
get that
false.
grab, but that's going to be Wallace coming in from the sideline. Wally trying to get away from that. That's going to be a flash coming in from him. Ragnarok
He's barely taking
proc
damage.
here. That's going to be a lot of charm coming through, but it does not matter. That's just going to be
Johnny's
Vicurus doing too
alive.
much damage here with the Demon Flare, but he's Ignite. He's burning alive. Shade going to get the pickup now. Wow, what a turn around on this. Walla is just having so much impact, able to just dash in, dash out, just constantly be a nuisance in all of these fights. But Shade
How
going
is
to
he
be
the one
living
that
with a
starts the
sliver.
fight and gets out and scuff? Like he's the one going in at first and then gets out almost always without dying.
Yeah. I would say Wally's positioning has, for the most part, been very, very efficient. I mean, like, the only times it gets a little bit scary is just Wallace being able to run into that back line. Initially, I questioned the viability of him being able to do that, but has just found ridiculously great angles across the board. So Wallace just playing this masterfully. Ooh.
and he's going to run away once again. Nothing is affecting this man. He's just that strong at this point in
Whee!
the game. He also has
And
almost 3,000 gold to
ran.
back to.
I ran so far away. That I shouldn't sing actually. That's possible copyright strike. Oh no! If Duran
True.
Duran comes after me, I am in trouble.
You can be sued about by anyone and anything nowadays. So I wouldn't put them away against them to actually go for it. We need to sing the approved songs, like songs that everyone can sing.
All right. Anyone got approved song? Like, oh, okay, public domain
Public
songs.
domain songs, yeah.
All right. Who wants to sing the national anthem?
See that you're already losing there because I don't know it
Sorry, the American national anthem. I should say.
exactly.
Good point. Good point.
You're not
You
thinking
know,
about your international
we just start
viewers here,
singing "Oh
bro.
Canada."
In the meanwhile, Baron.
Right now, I think we need to see potential steal from Rolly. Is he
Oh,
going to be able
bye,
to
Surfing.
get it? Dawn going.
Oh, he gets it.
Damn. He is able to pick that up there. He's going to be able to get the dash out, surviving. Ooh, yeah, he's going to be going down. But Wally, going to be the lone survivor again. Actually, buy still around. Buy still around. Was able to get the Baron buff.
2 Baron buffs. I think that's not bad. Obviously, I'm not sure if he's going to actually be able to protect it, but 2 Baron buffs, not a bad call.
Better than no Baron buff.
True. Maybe even more kills. Oh, well, 1 Baron buff.
Uh-oh.
1 Baron buff. Okay.
Wow, these Baron buffs are dropping like flies.
And if Senna's not careful, maybe no Baron buffs.
Come on, but it's going to be coming through. Just going to be poking out some damage onto her. Thorn, are they going to go in all for it? 4th and long, send it. Thorn,
Okay,
come
Dawn.
on.
Does he
Threw
want
the
it?
axe pretty far there. That could spell a death sentence for him.
He doesn't have flash, so he could actually die here. Let's
Okay,
go.
okay. Wally, yeah,
Second.
let's go. Senna.
The true carry of the team. The true carry of the team is Wally.
Okay, honestly, like Wally's been doing great this entire set, so
Yeah, I agree.
I'm kind of hyped to just be seeing some of these kills go on to him.
All games have been really good from Wally, and I think he deserves the praise. Oh, I don't think that's what you want by.
That is bold. Gonna be going in after Starsfall. Are we able to get the pickup there? Yes, we are.
1 for 1.
Flex is gonna be getting the grab, but at
Oh.
the cost of his very life. John's gonna be getting that kill there. Shade low, but Wallace doesn't care. Burning you alive. But now Wally could be in some trouble here. Can Wally get
Udyr
out?
was really trying to find it, but Wally's going to be fine. He's going to back over.
Yes!
To him. Meanwhile,
Yes!
done.
You sweet summer child, be free! Run!
This broadcast is absolutely not biased towards Wally. Oh.
Okay, I do like Senna. I won't deny that. You had your ASOL fun. I'm getting to have my Senna fun.
I think that was a mistake on both of our parts. We have bias towards one champion, and both times they've lost.
Ah, yes. Fair enough.
Well,
All
technically,
right.
Senna hasn't lost, but
Yes, yeah. Well, we shall see how this really continues from here. But how do you really turn this around? Like, what specific actions do you need to take on the side of SGU to turn this around?
well, they already did one that was completely and absolutely needed, and that was the Baron buff. Stealing that really can make a difference. Now, killing souls would certainly help a lot with that. Can they catch him? I'm not sure, but that would help 100%. It's 1 against 4. I think they can. Okay, there's seeing him.
Yeah, I'm like, if Thorn's there,
He's
you're able
finally
to
dead.
just Wally! Let's go!
Hyper carry Senna. Here we go.
We're going to be having the RFC and the Eclipse on to Senna. Very strong build at this time. Eclipse is basically shown to be the best first item again on to Senna. There was obviously a different when Umbral Glaive was able to do the triple damage to wards. Obviously, that was the best one, bar none. But now it's really kind of shifted back onto. There's a small period of Kraken, but it's now just shifted
I
back
thought
into Eclipse.
I thought Yomu's right now was the better option for almost all the carries with the movement speed buff.
Most, yes, yeah, most across the board. But Senna, because of the lowest starting HP pool on any champion in the game, you definitely like you scale some health, but you are still very vulnerable in some of those trades. So just being able to get the shielding with the Eclipse is quite efficient. Also, the raw AD being able to being funneled into your abilities is quite helpful as well.
Okay.
But like the movement speed and the movement speed, the shield, and the armor pen is just all very efficient for her. Ooh, are they
Yeah,
going to
that makes
be
sense,
getting
Dawn.
Dawn here? That's going to be a nice slow. Whole team is coming. That's going to be a triple charm. Are they able
Dawn
to
may be
grab
dead.
Dawn? That's going to be Wally. Another shutdown. Let's go, Wally. But now, Wolez trying to get away from the squad. Wally's going to be putting out some of this damage here. Rolex is going to be on the front line, trying to hold on as long as they can, but in trouble. Boom, going down.
Another pool.
That's just gonna be, these pulls are just too much for them to handle. Shade is just good and not fast enough. I'm sorry, but Wally's the survivor.
It's Wally and Bai against the world. Will they
Yeah,
be able to answer against the world? I'm not sure.
this
Well,
game.
at least Dawn
I'm
doesn't have
sorry.
teleport, so it's not like he can come back immediately to the fight.
Uh-oh.
No, Zene's fine, I think.
For now.
Yeah, she's fine. Look at that.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Wally's strong enough to push away 4 members.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. I'm like, I thought that was gonna, like, they were just gonna full commit for that. They had some flashes. I didn't know if they were gonna be just feeling it, but I guess they don't have to play fast. You can just go get the Baron for free.
Yeah, it's an easier way to try and close out the game. They already got triple inhibitor. They have.
You don't even truly have to go for Baron. You give such a crushing advantage. Just regroup, shove.
Well, they already kind of almost threw by giving up the previous Baron. They didn't throw, but they did give up the previous Baron. So technically, you don't need to try and force it again. Oh no, Wally.
Yeah. Wally,
bye.
Get away! No, Wally, no. All right. Shout out to kids in like 2011 when like Disney's Wally came out. We're just POV of that right now. But just Wolez just being able to put in a lot of work here, getting the triple kill, keeping Thorn in their base. Yeah.
And that's game. There was a valiant attempt, but the game started way too horribly for the side of Stunt to be able to try and turn it around. Cap just played it out really, really, really well.
What an absolute turnaround. Just from kind of the first 2 games where Dab was looking pretty rough in that game too, but then just the massive error from SGU really just, I think that's the moment they just lost their mojo and it really just swung into the favor of Dab.
And they were never able to find like the groove back into it. Also on the kind of in the after the Baron throw and then on the third game, it like there was never a moment to get the groove back on the side of Stunt. So good turnaround on one side, bad turnaround on the other.
All right. Well, in your opinion, who I like it like I think it's uncontested who the MVP is
Yeah,
for the set. Okay, who do you think it is?
I think it's false.
Yeah, I'm like I think it's Wallace, just like uncontested. I think Dawn is an honorable mention, but I think Wallace is just by
Yeah,
far was able
I
to just
like
hold it down for their team.
overall.
Who do you think was the ace for SGU?
I would say Wally as well. Like Wally did an amazing job overall on the game with how he performed, and in the series with how he performed and how consistent he was for the team.
Yeah, I'm like Wally. I agree. It, for the most part, had a very good vision score, able to find a good deal of impact there. Was just fairly consistent across all of just all of the games. Where you kind of look at some of the other members coming in from SGU, they had some games of ups and downs, and obviously with this one, this is the furthest down they had. Gragas was still able to find impact. Like Rolexis, I think would be maybe like honorable mention for their squad, but
But
I think I think it goes to Wally.
yeah, there's good honorable mentions, but it really is like the better call out is certainly Wally. I think I would say.
All right. Well, this was absolutely a very close series, but this is going to be De Anza and Burgundy moving on in this season 15, and this is going to be pushing SGU into the losers bracket. I believe this is the Iktal division or one up from there. Apologies, I'm kind of forgetting off the noggin, but that'll be all for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good rest of your night, and we will see you soon with the rest of the season 15 playoffs.